65 or older, Medicare provides free bone density tests every 2 years. Ask your doctor to schedule yours. For more information on how to be bone strong, visit pathtogoodbonehealth.org.
Hey, Joe, I thought you were retired.
Living on a fixed income is tough. So here I am, an essential worker.
I know. I mean, food prices are going up every day. Thank goodness for benefitscheckup.org.
Benefits what?
benefitscheckup.org. It's a free website where people over 60 can find help to pay for food, medicine, even utilities. I got $1,200 a year in benefits. Maybe it can help you.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
They get up every morning from the alarm clocks, warning, take the 8:15.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome in to Sports 56 Mornings on an extremely windy Tuesday, February 27th, 2024. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you, broadcasting live, as always, from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, their floor model sale rolls right along. Special financing available, great deals on just about everything that's left on the floor, and I'm sure there's still a lot to choose from. Family and fun, you know they come together at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And the first hour of the program is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware. As I mentioned, it is extremely windy out there, and it's warm. Already 65 degrees at 7 o'clock, getting up to 77. Cloudy, ominous skies. Looks like it's about to storm. Although I'm reading the forecast, straight from the forecast, they say a stray shower or thunderstorm possible with about a 15% chance of precipitation. I'd bet the over on that one. High 77 degrees and the winds 20 to 30 miles per hour tonight. 51 degrees, cloudy, occasional showers overnight. Again, the winds will remain pretty brisk, 15 to 25 with the chance of rain at 70%, but you could get gusts of over 40 miles per hour. Then your Wednesday looks like a cloudy day with the temperatures dropping a bit to 58 degrees as a high, 34 as an overnight low, with about a 25% chance of some precipitation. Coming up on the program today, we will talk plenty of NBA. The Grizzlies back in action last night, and what a stinker over at FedEx Forum. More controversy with officials in the NBA, go figure. Also, the college basketball top 25 poll came out yesterday afternoon. We'll go over that in honor for a Memphis Tiger, as Penny Hardaway had his weekly radio show, and the talk was finishing strong and just seeing what happens if they do. Also, an interesting comment made by Greg Byrne, the Alabama AD, about court storming. We got some news from around the world of golf, as well as a guy who has been gone for a long, long time is reappearing in the golf world. Not necessarily the PGA Tour, but we're going to see a name from the past. Connor O'Gara joins us at 7:25 as we talk all things college football with Connor. Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis at 8:25. By the way, no new news yesterday on the whole Malco academic thing, that situation at the university. Very quiet yesterday. And then at 9:05, Zoe Goodson will join us, the Rhodes men's basketball coach, and Rhodes falls one game short. They lose in the final of the SAA tournament and denied a spot in the Division III NCAA tournament, but a great run nonetheless by the Lynx. We'll talk to Zoe. We got Humdinger's trivia. That'll come your way after the 8:05 or 8 o'clock break when we come back for the start of the second hour. You can hit us up on the Sports 56 listener lines at 901-360-8255 by calling in or texting in. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm a little concerned with the wind.
It is windy.
I could already see like the
Mess my hair up. That's how windy it is. It's so windy. Even messed my hair up.
It looks like the light's about to go down over here at Ridgeway, and Mount Moriah. I see like wires down. It's not down completely, but I can see the wires loose. I'm thinking, oh gosh, that could be a major issue today. So again, be careful with the wind blowing the way it is.
I was very excited though because today on my way in, they finally got there. It took a long time, but they have finally patched the potholes on 240, so I did not have to do my little morning slalom around them. I had a path that I would take every morning. I knew exactly where I had to be and when I had to switch lanes to avoid the potholes. But apparently, I guess yesterday at some point they must have patched them. It was a welcome relief today to just be able to go, you know what, I'll just get in this lane and go, and I don't have to worry about switching lanes and playing like a video game to avoid them.
Do you do the slalom around the metal plates too?
No, I don't care about metal plates.
See, I do. I don't know why. I think that's still like messing up my tires, those big metal plates, but they're all over the place. And I'll go down Union. I'm making sure nobody's on my left, nobody's on my right, and then I'll make the old slalom around it. Sometimes you can't help it, and you go over the darn thing. I know it's not really hurting the tire. I don't think it is anyway, but I guess if you hit it really hard at an angle or something, I guess it could do damage. But I hate those metal plates.
The part I really hate, because these aren't, like the ones that were on there aren't like the deep potholes that are really going to do problem. What I hated is that if you're coming down that lane and you're following cars, they will throw up rocks that will damage the old windshield.
Right.
But it used to be, I would always say, when coming over the flyover, you had to be in the right lane. And then as soon as you got over the flyover, you had to either go right if you could, or you had to get left because there was two big patches of potholes coming up. But then if you went left, you had to immediately, after those two patches went by on your right now you had to get back to the right. If you went right, you were good. You were clear for quite some time. But if you went left, then there was another one coming up a little bit later on that you had to get back right to avoid that. Like I had it down. And then, and early in the morning, you can usually do that because there's not as much traffic out there. So you could kind of move around more freely. You get there at busier times, you're kind of just stuck. So you have to hold your ground and hope for the best.
See, that's an experienced driver. You knew exactly where all the potholes were.
But yeah, well, it took a little while to learn that though. Like it took a few hits and then all that.
You took your bumps.
And again, and plus when it's, that early in the morning, you're not quite fully awake sometimes. You're like, sometimes your memory will slip like, wait, do I got to go left here, right? Left or right? Left? Oh no, and I just hit it. Now I'm screwed. Now I've just hit it. Now I might as well just stay here. Oh, that's right. No, there's one more big one. Oh, now I'm through that one too. So here we go.
I remember, I think you were in Hawaii, and I had to go out to the Wolf Chase area. So I'm not on 240 as much as I used to. Usually I'm going through Poplar, down Walnut Grove, whatever, down Park. But I had to go on Sam Cooper and then on to 240, and then actually on the 40, going 40 east. And it'd been a while, and I remember just hitting a pothole that I thought, like you could fit a boat in that pothole. I thought, oh my God, I probably just screwed up everything, the wheel alignment, I popped the tire. And luckily, I don't know, okay, I think I'm okay. I think I came out of it unscathed, but I was like, damn, man, fix those things, especially on highways like that when there's so much vehicular traffic. But really, fix them anywhere. And I know there's a billion of them. There's only so many people to do this stuff, but I hate the metal plates too, though. I understand they put the metal plates because it's the better alternative to having the hole there if they can't get to that particular hole that day, that week. It's just when you have the metal plate up there for like 8 months. Like, come on, man. Did they forget that there's a metal plate here, that they covered a pothole? Come back, fix the pothole so we don't have to go over the metal plate. Anyway, let's talk some Grizzlies for a few minutes anyway.
Speaking of potholes.
What a dumpster fire last night. I don't know. The Grizzlies, for the most part, with this MASH unit lineup and Jaren Jackson hanging in there with a bunch of other dudes, and they've played well at times, won a couple games before the All-Star break, came out of the All-Star break, played the Clippers tooth and nail down to the final moments. A Clippers team with Kawhi, with Paul George, with James Harden, with Russell Westbrook, all these guys. And they turn around and they host the Brooklyn Nets. So last night you think maybe they get a dub, right? There's a few teams that they probably can beat, the Nets maybe being one of them. Not the case. Never close, never a game. Nets win 111-86. Grizzlies fall to 22-35. And last night was a horrible shooting performance by the Grizzlies.
Grizzlies are 20 and 38.
I'm sorry, I wrote the wrong thing down. I knew that when I said it.
Nets are 22 and 35.
That's right. I wrote the wrong team down. Yeah, 20, because I knew yesterday the Grizzlies had 57 games, which meant 25 going into last night. So now they have 24 games remaining in the regular season. So anyway, 20 and 38, 18 games under 500. It doesn't really matter. Will they get to 23 wins, though? Isn't that the lowest they've ever had? 23?
I do not.
Zach, when you get a chance, can you look that up? Is that the lowest win total, unless you know that off the top of your head with the Grizzlies? But sitting at 20. Anyway, shooting-wise, horrible.
Been worse than 23. God, there were some miserable years there.
There was, but I think 23 was the lowest. I don't know why I believe that.
23. I mean, 23 is pretty miserable, so it's not like that's real surprising. But man,
yeah, they weren't. They weren't
there was
threatening.
years where they won like 18 games.
They weren't threatening. What was it? The Sixers who had the record? Do they still have the record? But anyway, 7 of 26 from three. That's an NBA team. 26.9% last night from three. 7 of 26. And then individually, one guy stood out, Lamar Stevens. And, of course, people losing their mind on the internet, on X, about Lamar Stevens. They got to sign him for next year. I mean, he could be the difference in maybe winning the West. He went 8 of 9 from the field, 17.6 rebounds. Had a good game. Yeah, okay, he's a good journeyman, veteran player, deep on the bench, maybe if you want to sign him. If they don't, I don't think I'm going to lose sleep over it. And then G.G. Jackson, who has been very good, 1 of 13 from the field. Just a bad shooting night and all-around bad performance by the Grizzlies. Even the Boo Birds came out a little bit last night.
Vancouver had a 14-win season.
But in Memphis, 23?
In Memphis, 22.
Okay, 20.
Yeah, actually, 22's kind of been their number. They've had it, 3 times?
So 22. Mm-hmm. All right, so they got to get 2 more to tie that, 3 more to surpass that. You would think they'd get it. You'd think they'd get it this week. Portland twice at home on Friday and Saturday, and they play at Brooklyn Monday. But after last night, I don't know anymore.
Actually, the Vancouver Grizzlies had an 8-42 record in the 98-99 season.
8-42, so it was a shortened season?
Yeah, that was
the strike. So who cares? I mean, Vancouver. But
that's the worst win percentage.
Yeah, but in Memphis, it was 22 3 times, you said?
Yes.
Okay. So I think they'll pass. I'm pretty sure they'll pass that. But I thought a while ago that maybe they'll get to 30. Not like that's some accomplishment, some achievement. But I thought maybe they'd get to 30. But all you could ask for right now, because they're not winning games, they're not going to the playoffs, people understand that. They're going to see entertainment. So as long as they put out the effort, they're fine. And they've put out the effort for the most part. Last night they stunk. They stunk up the joint. That's like going to Vegas and seeing, pick an artist, right? When Britney Spears, I don't know if she still has her residency, or whoever has their residency out there. And then you get the A effort, and then maybe you get the B minus effort the one time. Normally it doesn't happen, but once in a while it happens. Maybe the person's off their game. Maybe they're feeling a little under the weather. And you hate that because that's when you spent your money. That's the tickets you had. You went to see that particular show. Well, maybe last night you went to see that particular game, and that's what you got.
Hate it when Brittany can't knock down jumpers. The Jacksons going a combined 3 for 25 from the field. That's not good.
3 for 25? No, I would say not.
Yeah, I mean, it's it is what it is. I don't know.
What are you going to do?
It's I will say that the Lamar Stevens has been an interesting find since the trade. I think Lamar Stevens can have a role on the team. I would like to see Lamar Stevens on this roster going forward.
Are you going to lose sleep if they didn't sign him, though? I mean, it's like people.
I'm not
going to
lose sleep if there's anybody that I don't lose sleep over.
I mean, people are going crazy over the guy. Like all of a sudden, Boston, I guess, overlooked the dude.
But
he's great.
He is an interesting player. I think he, as we talked about last week with the Michael Cole, I mean, he's kind of the better version of David Roddy, and I think there's some interesting things there. Doesn't mean he should be starting, but I think I would not mind seeing him on this bench in the future.
Yeah, we're we're reaching. Now, I'm not saying that guy's not capable of being a role player, bench player for the Grizzlies. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it's such a bad season that we're looking at things like that for solace. Oh, man, Lamar Stevens. That guy can perform well. But really, the year has been...
What's the whole thing has been about? It's been about finding guys.
Well, for them.
For the future.
For them, but people don't... Again, I don't think people are... excited about spending money last night to go watch them lose by 25 to the Brooklyn Nets, and Lamar Stevens had a really good game. You know, kids, remember that day Lamar Stevens went 8 of 9 from the field? No, I remember the day when I went to the game and John Morant was dunking over 7-footers. That's what you want.
But that's not going to happen.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's unfortunate that this is the type of year they're having, so all you could ask for is effort and a solid performance. You didn't get either one last night. But for the most part, they've given it. So, again, I'll give them some credit as far as that's concerned. What you don't want to see is the remaining 24 games, them rolling over and just playing dead. Now, other people would say, yeah, but that's good. Their chances are better for the draft lottery. I understand. The result may help, may be beneficial. But for people going to watch the team, it's not. You want to see effort. And I would imagine that they'll be back and given an A effort on Friday night when they play Portland, because that's what they've done for the most part. But last night stunk. It absolutely stunk. Elsewhere in the NBA last night, there wasn't a lot of games. But, you know, I go to ESPN to look up scores. I went to bed pretty early, so I wanted to see what else happened in the NBA. Miami won that late game on the West Coast against Sacramento, 121-110. But I get to the headlines, and it's like 3 or 4 headlines are all about the officials. Lakers vent at refs, their inconsistency after a loss to the Suns. That was the other day. Then we get the Pistons-Knicks game from last night. I didn't see the play. I still have to go back and watch it. But I tend to believe Monty Williams. After the game, the Knicks winning 113-111 over the Pistons, Monty Williams, who has nothing to lose, it's been a terrible year, went off on the refs. There was 8.5 seconds left. Detroit had the lead. New York guard Dante DiVincenzo plowed into the legs of Detroit forward Asar Thompson. Monty Williams delivered a tirade after the game, deeming it mistreatment from the officials and the absolute worst call of the season, although it was a no call. Williams said, let's see, no call and enough's enough. We've done it the right way. We called the league. We've sent in clips. We're sick of hearing the same stuff over and over again. We had a chance to win the game, and a guy dove into Asar's legs, and there was a no call. That's an abomination. You cannot miss that in an NBA game, period. And I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of my guys asking, what more can we do, Coach? That situation is Exhibit A to what we've been dealing with all season long, and enough's enough. You cannot dive into a guy's legs in a big-time game like that. I don't know if it's big time, but you cannot dive into a guy's legs in a game.
I can answer that question. It is not a big-time game. not for the Pistons. It's big for the Knicks. It is not big for the Pistons.
Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reading the quote. You cannot dive into a guy's legs in a big-time game like that and there be a no call. You can't dive into the guy's legs in any game. It's ridiculous, and we're tired of it. We just want a fair game called, period. I've got nothing else to say. We want a fair game, and that was not fair. No, it was a blown call by officials who I understand have a tough job. And yesterday, we were talking about block charge calls by officials in basketball, NBA, college, high school. It is a tough call. There's no question a block charge call is a tough call. But I still go by my saying from years ago that the worst collective group of officials, referees, umpires, whatever sport you're looking at, are NBA officials. Because NBA officials have makeup calls, star treatment calls. There's all kinds of things that they do beyond what they should do as officials. I'm not saying they gave this one to the Knicks, but for whatever reason, they swallowed their whistle. There's just too much of this. Just go to the headlines at ESPN.com or any of the sports sites, and then look at when they had the headlines, Fox Sports, CBS Sports. 3 or 4 of them are always about NBA officials. Always about NBA officials. They're horrible. overall, collectively, not every individual, not every game. There are really good ones, which they have to weed out the bad ones for the postseason, but there's so much postseason that you never know what you're going to get. This is not a block charge call. This is not a tough gray area call. This is just not blowing your whistle when you should, according to Monty Williams.
And according to the official, they said afterwards that a foul should have been called, and it should have been. Like it was a crazy play. The ball was like flying all over the place, but there's no doubt he came basically with a cross body block into the legs. And once they reviewed it, they after the game, they said that there should have been a foul call. They missed it. It sucks for the Pistons, although I don't know if it sucks for the Pistons. It might be better for the Pistons that they lost the game. But yeah, I mean it sucks. And hearing them tell you afterwards that you're right, a foul should have been called does them no good whatsoever.
Well, that has always been the case. We've had the situations where they wanted to, what to the game? They wanted the game like the last segment replayed or whatever. They appealed. I can't think of the word, man. It's too early in the morning. When you
protest?
Thank you. Gosh, bless it. We've seen protests before, which always fall on deaf ears, because what are they going to do? It has happened, though, where they've actually replayed a segment. Wasn't Miami involved in one of those games? But it's very, very rare, even though you know that they screwed up completely. So you can cry, you can scream, you can kick and beg. There's nothing much you can do other than continue to complain, send clips to the NBA's legal office. But once you go out and start publicly complaining about officials, you're going to get fined. I'm sure Monty doesn't really care, but nothing's going to be done about it. So what does it mean? Your officials have to be better. And what happened on that play is obviously the Knicks got the ball, they picked it up, they got it inside, they scored, won the game. 2.5 seconds, I think they got the game winner.
Yeah, so that game that you mentioned, Greg, it was in December 19th, 2007. The Miami Heat protest the number of fouls assessed to Shaquille O'Neal against the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, that was just simply that wasn't about a judgment call. It was simply they lost track of how many fouls a guy had. Well, so they fouled him out of the game when he wasn't supposed to be fouled out.
Again, that's stupid. How does that happen? 2007, we're not talking about 1954. So that's dumb. But again, I can't believe I remembered it was Miami, but I couldn't remember the word protest. But anyway, don't get old, folks. So anyway, so there's the situation with Detroit and New York. And it's too commonplace. Again, not a gray area type deal, not a block charge, which is extremely hard. It's just not blowing your whistle when it should. And then after the game going, we should have blew the whistle. Yeah. But I like the fact that Monty Williams is fired up. He's got a bad team. They've had a bad season. I don't think the NBA has some conspiracy against them. You know, Adam Silver met with all his officials and said, make sure the Pistons get all the bad calls. It's just bad things usually follow bad teams. Usually bad teams find ways to lose games. But in this situation, you could say that the officials helped them lose that game.
Yeah, again, it's a bad call. Bad calls are going to happen. It's an impossible job. Officials are never going to be perfect in any sport. It's impossible.
No, they're not going to be perfect, but I don't know. Throw a fourth guy out there. Find a way. Put one on.
Do not put a fourth guy out there.
Then keep one on I know they have the backup guy. You know, have a backup ready to make calls as well to overrule in situations like that. You have to. You have a second or two to change. You know, get together. Make sure that everybody's on the same page. Who cares if it takes a couple of extra seconds in that case? But they blew it. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Connor O'Gara joins us. We haven't talked to Connor in a while. He's written about the Combine and players from the SEC. Obviously, there's going to be a ton. There always is. Who's going to shine this week? We'll get his thoughts on that and everything else college football-wise. Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South is next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, We are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop, here on Sports 56. Real sports talk.
Women here in Memphis are wearing bigger, better quality diamonds and some amazing designer rings thanks to the arrival of Genesis Diamonds. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and Genesis came on the scene here last year and shook up the jewelry world big time with rock-bottom prices on diamonds, a selection that's like 20 times ordinary stores, designer rings you can't find anywhere else, and guarantees and warranties that are the strongest in America. A relaxed, no-pressure, laid-back experience with no commission salespeople. Everybody here is loving what Genesis is doing. Whether you want a lab-grown diamond or a natural diamond, Genesis will easily beat anyone else's price. The owner is a former diamond wholesaler, and Genesis has cornered the market on the world's most acclaimed designer rings. They have all the top 10 designers in the bridal world, thousands of handcrafted rings made by the premier designers. For whatever special occasion you have coming up, don't go to the old-fashioned stores for the same old, same old. Discover the store that's raised the bar in quality, selection, and value. Prepare to be blown away. Genesis Diamonds, on Poplar at Perkins Extended.
Some people just know bundling with Allstate means big savings. Just like they know the right ingredient means big flavor. They know honey on pizza is where it's at. And olive oil on ice cream is the cherry on top. And they know when you bundle home and auto with Allstate, you can save up to 25%.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's leap year, so jump into big savings at Gossett Kia on the Pike. New 2024 Kia Forte LXS gets 41 MPG, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. How about 7-passenger seating? Get 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease, and don't forget, every Gossett Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So call Bobby J to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online anytime at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee. Forte RE722-812, MSRP 21,590. Sorrento PG 242710, MSRP 33010. Telluride RG 462-822, MSRP 38705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 2/29/24 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Sports 56 traffic.
Out here, traffic starting to develop now, leaving Collierville on 385 Billmore Parkway as you continue towards 240. Still not too bad right now on 40 westbound. That's what we're looking at live here at Germantown Parkway, all the way up to Whitten Road. A little bit of traffic southbound on Austin P Highway, trying to get up on that ramp to I-40. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out today at TomahawkCrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 7:28 the time. Hour number 1 of the program. Greg, Eli, and Zach from the Family Leisure Studios. It's been a while. It feels like it's been a while since we talked to Connor. Time to talk to Connor O'Gara.
It's time to talk some SEC and college football. Joining Greg and Eli is Connor O'Gara from SaturdayDownSouth.com and SaturdayTradition.com. Here's Connor O'Gara with Greg and Eli.
It is always great to catch up with Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South. Their senior national columnist, also host of the Saturday Down South podcast. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. He joins us every other week. Connor, how you been?
Been well, guys. It was good to get away for a little bit. I was able to spend about 9 days with family in both Indianapolis and Lexington, and I feel refreshed. I feel really, really good right now, and it's a good thing to be able to get away for a little bit, and kind of disconnect from this crazy world of college football we live in.
You need to recharge the batteries. You absolutely do. Of course, it's going to start to heat up here with spring ball around the country, and then the portal opens up again. We know there's going to be a mess as far as that's concerned. By the way, your thoughts on the decision by the judge to basically throw up the injunction. And now we know that there's nothing the NCAA can do, at least for the moment, against any school, not only Tennessee, in that case that's going on, which will probably still go to court. And Eli said yesterday, who knows, maybe one day to the Supreme Court.
It's significant. It really is, because if the NCAA can't step in and basically say this is an impermissible benefit with anything anymore, then what power do they really have in college football? Now, it's different for other sports in which they obviously control the postseason, but we know in college football they don't do that. The college football playoff is a separate entity. So you're kind of wondering, is this the beginning of the college football landscape being able to separate itself from the NCAA? And it feels like it. And I don't know that this could have gone any differently over the course of the last few weeks. Obviously, things could have gone differently over the course of the last few years if the NCAA had not had what they called interim policies for NIL when this was first introduced into the world. They would have had a leg to stand on. But obviously we know that wasn't the case, and that's why Tennessee had the best argument to be able to win this case and why a federal judge ruled in favor of Tennessee. It was probably always going to happen this way, but it was a landmark decision, and one that I would argue was probably even more significant than the introduction of NIL itself, to say that the NCAA cannot step in, because now it's open season and you can be more transparent than ever as it relates to NIL and collectives.
Connor, what do you make, and I think NIL is part of this, the portal, all that stuff, but with the number of head coaches we've seen leave those jobs for what would appear to be lesser jobs, for coordinator jobs, things like that. Some of them are making a step up, but I mean, with a guy like Chip Kelly leaving a Power 5 job, is this just a bad sign for the future of college football?
I think it's a case-by-case thing. My whole thing has been, I'm not worried so much about the college coach to NFL path. And I realize that with some, it might seem more attractive. Everybody's looking at like the Jeff Hafley thing at Boston College and saying like, oh, well, that's the example. He definitely was sick of NIL. Jeff Hafley was going to enter the year on the hot seat, all right? And he's trying to control his own destiny. And Chip Kelly was in the same thing. Chip Kelly was a lame duck coach that UCLA wanted to fire at the end of this past regular season and couldn't. And so he's looking at this situation going, what am I doing? Why am I going to endure this season where I feel like I'm going to get fired, and I feel like there's nothing I can really do, especially in this new conference, and recruiting has never been more difficult. Why don't I go to a situation like Ohio State where I can call plays with someone I trust, someone I've worked with before, and Ryan Day, and make the best of this? And that's what he decided to do. And there's still less coaches this year that have left for college to the NFL than there was last year, as Brandon Marcello has pointed out. So I'm not really worried about that. What I'm more worried about is college coaches having enough money with how increased these salaries are, and eventually hitting that point where they say, you know what, it's just not worth it anymore, and I'll do something else. Whatever that something else is, maybe it's media, maybe it is the NFL, maybe it's a different job in college. I think that's a different discussion, but it does feel like we are seeing a little bit of a change in philosophy, and that it's not all of a sudden these destination jobs in the way that they were made out to be once upon a time.
Yeah, speaking of coaches that are now out of the game and media, Nick Saban going to be part of game day and some other things with ESPN, the draft included. What do you think about him and the job that he'll do in that role?
He's going to be excellent. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. He's built for this. Like once he sits down and actually goes through these film breakdowns, which I'm sure they're going to have him do. That's kind of quietly been a staple of game day. I think it's one of the things that they do really, really well, and that entire panel of analysts does a really good job with this. I think that you're going to see that this was one of the best football minds, not just in college football, but all of football that we have ever seen, and we'll be reminded of that on a weekly basis. You know, he has the charisma to be able to stand up there, and his words just matter more. I mean, they do, to not to get too cliche with it, but like we've seen him on that desk before, national championship games in which Bama's not a part of, and he's phenomenal. I mean, there's really no doubt in my mind that he's going to succeed at that. It's more interesting to see like how much does he become this campaigner for the change in college football, and what does he use his platform to do in that arena, and can he cause change and actually be this person who is able to speak out against these things that we need tweaking. And I'm not saying that he becomes the commissioner of college football, because we're still a long ways off from that happening with the current power dynamics. But I do think Nick Saban is going to have a major, major impact in the media landscape.
I may have asked you this before, but are you 100% confident that we don't see him coaching again?
Yeah, he's done. What does he have to prove? He passed the bear. I mean, unless we're
I think it would be at the NFL level.
No. He saw what that was like. I mean, and it's different now than it was in 2005, 2006. So I don't want to necessarily like say that part is just completely in the past. But what do you need to do that for if you're Saban? Like, you just watched how this turned out with Urban as well, and like I just think it's a different skill set. And I give a lot of coaches credit that can do both. I give Jim Harbaugh a lot of credit for being able to do both. Pete Carroll, like this is not an easy thing to be able to do. As Nick Saban and Steve Spurrier, like coaches like that, Urban Meyer have reminded us. And no, I don't think he goes to the NFL. I think he's truly content in this role, and I think he will enjoy being a grandpa and having that $17 million home in Jupiter, Florida.
With Saban now gone, Harbaugh to the NFL, and some certainly would consider Harbaugh in their top three. Saban probably at the top of everybody's list as far as best college coaches that we're currently coaching. Now that they're gone, who are the top three current coaches in college football today?
It's a great question, because you can kind of go any which way after one. I mean, Kirby's one. There's no debate about it whatsoever, in my opinion. I'd put Brian Kelly at 2. I would put BK at 2, because I think everybody wants to talk about the lack of big game success and all those different things. But still, I mean, he currently owns the longest active streak of 10-win seasons in college football now that Nick Saban has retired. He's done that 7 straight years. And he did that at an LSU program that, look, when he arrived there for that bowl game, they had 39 scholarship players. He beat Saban in year 1 to be able to win the West, and then year 2, he's got a Heisman Trophy winner, albeit in a somewhat disappointing 9-3 regular season. So, I think that he is at number 2 on that list. Number 3 is where it gets really, really difficult for me, because I think that Dabo still has a case, but, you look at it from a most accomplished standpoint, you're kind of like, you know what, I can't really get on board with that just yet. You can make a case for Ryan Day as well, but gosh, I don't know. I'm struggling to come up with it now that you put me on the spot here.
Right,
but
right.
Those guys are part of it. Kalen DeBoer is certainly part of it as well. And I know that there are a lot of questions about how he's going to do at Alabama and replace the greatest coach of all time. But I'd say that those guys have the best case probably to be in that number 3 discussion. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone.
Yeah, if Day had a couple of wins against Michigan, I would certainly say, yeah, I can't put him in a top 3 with that. I can't put Riley in. I certainly can't put Venables in, or Lanning is just getting underway. I'm trying to think who that would be. Eli, does anybody come to mind that would? James Franklin? No, I wouldn't put him in top 3. No.
Yeah, it's difficult. But in a way, isn't that a good thing? Isn't that kind of a good thing that there is this next wave? Because I think for a really long time, I think for a long time it's been, all right, Saban is 1, and depending on when you're talking about this, Kirby was either 2 or 3, and then Dabo was either 2 or 3, and now it's a little bit more wide open. And the fact that we're at a time in which there are 5 active championships won by coaches that are currently active. That was a weird way to phrase that.
I know what you're saying, though.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Kirby's got 2, Dabo's got 2, Mac Brown's got 1. So, like, there's really not a lot of national championship winning coaches right now in the sport, and it's a strange time. It's definitely a changing of the guard.
You brought up Brian Kelly. You've written an article about your top quarterbacks for the NFL draft. Do you think there's any way, or do you think it's possible at all that Jaden Daniels could overtake Caleb Williams for number one?
I don't. And I'm a Bears fan, so I'm very emotionally invested in this as well. But I don't. And look, I think that while there is definitely a world in which he is number two, and I think that there are a lot of teams that are going to like him. I think there are a lot of teams that are still going to like Drake May at that number two spot. It just kind of depends on the way things play out. Who knows? And I say the number two spot because who knows if a trade is in the works or something like that. But no, I do think Caleb Williams is still going to be at that number one level. And I think that the ability that he has shown as a starter is going to make him it's going to put him in a different stratosphere. And I do believe that the Bears are going to pick him at number one overall. I don't think they're going to trade the number one overall pick twice. And I think they'll move on from Justin Fields one way or another. Whether that's this year or next year remains to be seen. But no, I think Caleb Williams will be locked into that one spot. And Jaden Daniels, as great as he was this past year, as improved as he was, I think it's still too difficult to see him overtaking that spot, a la Baker Mayfield in 2018, where all of a sudden he kind of came out of nowhere after his Heisman season, rose to number one, and was the number one overall pick for the Browns.
As a Bears fan, do you believe Caleb Williams is a upgrade over Justin Fields?
I do, and that pains me to say. It really does, because I like Justin Fields, and if we're living in a different time, he gets more time. Like, go back and look at Terry Bradshaw back in the day and look at what he did in his first 5 seasons with the Steelers, and then tell me how it was when he finally got that opportunity, got over the hump at year 6. Like, we used to give quarterbacks so much more time because you just could. And front offices didn't have the pressure on them, and coaches. So it was just a different landscape. And there's definitely a part of me that would love to see what it would look like, in year 4 and year 5 with Justin Fields, because I see the potential, and I love the connection with DJ Moore, and like they just need a few more pieces. But I still think you can't pass on Caleb Williams, and you can't pass on the number one overall pick twice. And I think that they end up taking him, resetting that quarterback clock, doing it with a lame duck OC, in my opinion, or with a new OC is still kind of a weird move. With the lame duck head coach, what it appears to be with Matt Eberflus is still a weird move. But yeah, I do think that ultimately he will be the number one overall pick, and he will be considered an upgrade over Justin Fields.
Outside of Daniels, do you believe, and I know you wrote about Brock Bowers not being confused with Rob Gronkowski, do you believe he'll be the highest chosen player from the SEC?
I don't. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know how much of this conversation with Brock Bowers is because of that or because of the ankle, the tightrope surgery that he had, that he came back from, in 4 weeks and really expedited that timeline. But guys, it's really, really strange. I'm like, are we already forgetting that he's the best tight end in the history of college football? Like, do we just totally omit that from our brain, that this guy, as a true freshman tight end, was the best offensive player on a national championship winning team? Like, are we just totally disregarding that? It's weird. I don't think he's going to be, though, based on the way that these mocks have played out, as maddening as it is. I think Malik Neighbors ends up going ahead of him. I think Jaden Daniels ends up going ahead of him, because I think
I said outside Daniels, but yes,
right.
Neighbors, I think there's a chance. So you think Bowers may slide a little bit?
Yeah, just based on the way that this has played out, maybe some of that is just the market for a tight end is just different. If anybody is sitting here telling me that Brock Bowers shouldn't be a top 5, top 10 pick because of Kyle Pitts and the way that's played out, that's the worst draft take you can possibly have. Like, I can't tell you guys how much I hate that thought process because of the situation Kyle Pitts went to with Arthur Smith, who just decides that top 10 overall picks at the skill positions are meaningsless. Kyle Pitts is a wildly different player than Brock Bowers, who has been blocking his tail off since the moment he arrived in Athens. And it's just an entirely different, discussion. It'd be like, oh yeah, well, Kyle Pitts didn't work out, so that's why you can't draft Brock Bowers in the top 5. It's like, no, that's a really, really dumb take. I kind of find myself hoping that the Chargers take him and Harbaugh uses his first round pick with them to be able to go out and get who I believe is just a generational prospect at tight end.
Of the quarterbacks you wrote about, how many do you think end up in the first round?
I think 4, but it never plays out that way, does it? Like, I guess it, 2017, it did, wherein a certain Chicago Bears took Mitch Trubisky at number 2 overall, and Pat Mahomes went a few picks later. Like, these things happen. I'm reminded about them every once in a while. I'm not bitter at all. But, like, I do think there will definitely be 3. I wonder what that number is going to finish at, though. If the over-under is going to be 3.5 or something like that, if that's what Vegas is going to set it at. Because I think Penix is an interesting conversation as that 4th guy. I still see Bo Nix showing up there.
Could be McCarthy.
Who knows? Yeah, J.J. McCarthy, a lot of people like him. I still think he's a lot more of a project. I definitely think he has a path to be a franchise quarterback. I just think it's a much bigger roll of the dice when this is someone who only has like 123 more college pass attempts than Dwayne Haskins, who was a one-year starter. Like, They just didn't ask him to throw the ball a whole lot, despite the fact that he obviously won a lot of games. So I think the 7 guys that I listed in that story, as well, with Spencer Rattler being one of them, Bo Nix also part of that discussion. I think those 7 guys should all go in the first 2 days, which would be the first 3 rounds. But, yeah, I think that it might end up only being 3 or 4 that go in the first round.
Well, check out that article, all the great stuff that Connor writes at Saturday Down South, Saturday Tradition. Check out the Saturday Down South podcast as well. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara and listen to him every other week talking with us here on Sports 56 Mornings, and that is all year long. Connor, as always, thank you so much. I'm glad you got a chance to recharge the batteries. Now get back to the grind, my friend.
Gentlemen, appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you, Connor.
This hour of our program is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince is where you'll find East Memphis Ace Hardware in the shopping center right there. They're up in the corner next to Billy Hardwick's All-Star Lanes. Go on by and see them. Talk to the great staff there. Whatever it is you're looking for, whatever project you're looking to complete, they've got the supplies for what you need and a great staff to help you find exactly what it is you're looking for. And I mean, they know that store like the back of their head. You walk in there and say, this is what I'm looking for. They'll like walk you directly to it. Like they know everything in there. You go to some of the other big box stores, you're like, hey, I'm looking for this. They're like, try that side of the store. Like they have no idea. But the folks over at East Memphis Ace Hardware, they'll be like, follow me. And they'll take you right to the aisle, right to the spot. They're like, here's what you're looking for. It's an amazing staff. They've got everything you need. Of course, the Big Green Egg and the egg accessories. They're a platinum dealer of the Big Green Egg, the best grill there is and the last grill you'll ever need to buy. East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince.
Talk some college basketball when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Our mission, to exceed your expectations, provide quality service with urgency, and be there for when you need us most. There is nothing more frustrating than a clogged drain, shower, kitchen, or toilet. They disrupt your life. But don't worry, Choate's is here to get those drains flowing again. With the latest tools, technology, and expert professionals, we're ready to tackle any clog, anytime. We also believe in the power of preventative maintenance, and now is the time to be proactive with Choate's $93 drain inspection. This special offer includes a camera inspection of your sewer with a full assessment of your drainage system. That's a $199 value now for only $93 this month. Give your family the peace of mind they deserve and prevent those unwanted clogs. Call us today at 347-8086 to schedule your $93 drain inspection. And remember, Choate's, let our family serve your family.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Chris Price. It's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. There are a lot of great dads out there. Sometimes those dads get divorced. For more than 30 years, we've represented men in divorce, confronting the pitfalls that could devastate your finances or harm your family relationships. While every situation is different, our goal is to get the best outcome for you and your kids. Visit CordellCordell.com to take the first step.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Memphis attorneys. 5100 Poplar Avenue, Suite 2932, Memphis, Tennessee, 38137.
Paid for by Cordell & Cordell.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779.
Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg at East Memphis Ace. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Ready to cook in only 15 minutes with cook temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between. Change your at-home cooking experience for life with our unmatched, authentic wood-fired grill flavor that has our customers raving. Get your Big Green Egg and all our accessories at East Memphis Ace on the corner of South White Station and Quince Road.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So good news for Ole Miss. We were talking about this yesterday and wondering if Alan Flanagan would be suspended for a game and miss the crucial game against Alabama tomorrow night at the Pavilion. Not the case. No additional punishment for Alan Flanagan.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that, but certainly good news for them. They need everybody they can have possibly against Alabama, that's for sure. But that was a pretty blatant, dirty, cheap shot. And I'm a little surprised there wouldn't be more punishment than that.
Yeah, I thought there was a good chance, after I went back and watched it, that he would be suspended for the game, but Flanagan will be able to go tomorrow night for Chris Beard's team. For Memphis, nothing new on the situation with Malcolm Dandridge and the academic situation. The investigation continues. Penny Hardaway was there last night at his weekly radio show, and a bunch of players showed up. Penny had some interesting things to say, talking about the chemistry of the team. He said this week has shown that the guys are more unified, especially by them being out here tonight, coming together to come over to Brookhaven Pub and support him and say hello to the fans at his weekly radio show. He said Penny on this is Penny on fan criticism after the Tigers' recent losses. To be realistic, losing 4 games in a row, it's devastating. With this group, it's unacceptable. Then we go to Texas and take 2 steps back. So the scrutiny, it was warranted. See, at first he came out and he was pretty critical of the people who were being critical. And now, I guess, having time to think about it, and the team apparently getting their act together, he understands that situation. Again, as long as it's not personal attacks at players, at the coach, in my opinion, even a good fan can criticize their team, their players. I mean, last night there was a handful of boos at FedEx Forum. I'm sure those people that were booing love the Grizzlies, support the Grizzlies. They were there at the game during these hard times, but they didn't like the effort that they were putting forward. Penny said, the last 2 games, these are big games. We are seeing now that everyone is focused and locked in. You can see it by these guys being here now. Things are getting closer, and it's the right time for that to happen. Now, the last part of that statement, he's absolutely correct. As far as you want to be peaking at the very end. The problem is that they should have been focused for a lot more of the games. They shouldn't have had to wait till now. What was the reason why they weren't focused? They were at the beginning of the season, but it's the middle of the season, and because of that, they're still on the outside looking in. But if they can go on this run, who knows, go down to Dickies Arena and win more than likely 4 in 4 days. Obviously, they're getting the AQ, they're going in. But could they be still in the at-large conversation? Well, they're going to absolutely have to win these next 3, and that's still not a great odds that they would be looked at as a team in the field by the bracketologists.
It's you certainly want to be peaking at the end, but ideally you have maintained a good level throughout. It's the peaking after cratering is the problem.
Right.
You don't want to crater in the middle and then peak at the end. Yes, you want to peak at the end, but you want to eliminate the craters in the middle, which they had.
No question about it. Top 25 poll came out yesterday after we wrapped up things on our show, and there is a new number 1 in town. Houston. The Houston Cougars, who I said I believe they could be the number 1 overall seed when it's said and done. If they win the Big 12 in their first year, take down Kansas, absolutely they should be the number 1 overall seed. That is the best conference in college basketball. Purdue right behind it, too. UConn is number 3, the defending champions. Tennessee is number 4. We've talked about Tennessee and their chances to be a 1 seed. Obviously, they're going to have a lot of opportunities in front of them in the SEC and then into the SEC tournament. Marquette is 5. Arizona is 6. Then Kansas, Iowa State, 2 more from the Big 12. North Carolina and Duke, the ACC rivals. Other schools from the SEC, Auburn 11. Alabama is 14th. Kentucky is 16th. South Carolina is 18th. Florida is 24th. So a nice run of SEC schools, and then USF in the top 25.
Incredible run that they have been on in the conference, and again, what he has done with that team is crazy. Just the idea of USF being a top 25 team at any point this year was not on anybody's bingo card.
The metrics are still not on their side, despite 25-3, I think their record is. Yeah, but if they keep winning, obviously they win the conference tournament, they're in as an AQ, but if they keep winning, close out on they're already up to 13 straight? I think it's 13 straight, 13, right?
Yeah.
They close it out on that huge winning streak, one of the longest in the nation, get to the championship game of the conference tournament. Can they not sneak in as an at-large? I mean, they're right now, if you look at Jerry or Joe, they're not even on the radar. And it's understandable because of the non-conference portion of their schedule. They didn't play juggernauts, for one thing, and they had some bad losses. We talked about the Bryant loss. They have some bad losses, but geez, take the totality of the season. Right now,
they've not played a quad 1 game.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
They are going to probably win the conference. They're in the top 25 in the nation. Right now, if you play them on your home floor, it's a quad 3 game.
Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. They offer financing with different plans and options to choose from, including a 6, 12, or even 18-month same-as-cash option. They'll work with your insurance company or out of pocket. Pinnacle is part of the Roofs for Troops program. Any veteran, active, or retired get a $250 rebate on the purchase of a new roof. They do residential and commercial roofing, so business owners and property managers, obviously homeowners as well. If you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. Don't forget about the $100 referral fee for all new roofs. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof, and all their work is satisfaction guaranteed. That includes all the work around the house, like carpentry work. They can do exterior painting. They can replace gutters, put up fencing, siding, install shingles, rotten wood repair, quality work at a very reasonable price. Again, locally owned and operated. This is Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. For all your roofing and home repair needs, they've been with us for years now. Call Brandon. Tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings, 901-438-5084, or check them out online at newroofmemphis.com. When we come back, we open up hour number 2 with Humdinger's Trivia. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Do you want a greener, more weed-free lawn? If you're like me, you can't stand the sight of dandelions, clover, or especially crabgrass. Hi, I'm Brandon Hawley, president of Lawn Solutions. We are your locally owned and operated weed control and fertilization company. We are also experts in disease and insect control on your lawn and landscape. Our uniformed technicians are full-time, year-round licensed and certified by the state of Tennessee. Lawn Solutions' personalized service is far more superior to that of national companies that promise but simply cannot deliver. We return phone calls, we keep appointments, and we want your business. What we will not do is bother you with endless phone calls or junk mail. Lawn Solutions will not sell you something your lawn doesn't need. If you're looking for a local lawn care company to kill your weeds and feed your grass, then Lawn Solutions is the finest. Call us at 867-5626. That's 867-5626. Or go online at lawnsolutionsinc.net. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for your business.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
What's the difference between an ordinary EV and a Mercedes-Benz EV? The feeling. Electric is what gets you there. Mercedes-Benz is what moves you. In ways no other automaker can. Feel the freedom of the superbly versatile 7-seater EQB. Revel in the inspired, customizable comfort of the EQE sedan. Sense the brilliant intelligence of the EQE SUV. Discover the boundless capability of the EQS SUV. And luxuriate in the flagship meets spaceship magnificence of the EQS sedan. Every Mercedes-Benz electric vehicle offers the very latest MBUX voice-activated AI software, as well as remote access to a whole host of functions via the Mercedes Me Connect app. The vehicle's electric, the feeling all Mercedes, the choice all yours. Test drive a Mercedes-Benz electric today at your local dealer, or learn more at mbusa.com/EQ.
It's a new year, and Family Leisure has a new way to bring family and fun together. All you have to do is walk into Family Leisure and look around. All those floor model patio sets you see, those have got to go. So Family Leisure can make room for all the new sets coming. Get a wicker sofa set for under $2,000. Pool tables under $1,500. Theater seating for under $2,000. Hot tubs for $4,000 or just for yourself. If you really want to lounge, they're under $5,000. Need patio cushions? Get them as low as $25. Oh, have you seen those infrared steam saunas? Well, now they and the traditional saunas are 25% off. It may just be the first few weeks of 2024, but that doesn't mean you can't start getting ready for summer. 2 final things. Purchase your above-ground pool now and get first in line for installation, and take advantage of special financing that's available. Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, bringing the family and the fun back together.
Sports 56 traffic brought to you by Curfew.
Enjoy the ultimate dining experience at Curfew. Tuesday is Ladies' Night with $8 Cosmos, lemon drops, and daiquiris. Curfew American Tavern Craft Cocktails, your new destination. 164 Union Avenue, main floor of the Canopy Hotel.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It's really starting to get heavy now on 40 westbound as you travel between, let's say, 269 coming in from Fayette County all the way to Sycamore View Road. Again, in between there, it's pretty crowded. It's moving right now, 385 Billmore Parkway westbound as you work your way on that ramp there to 240 up by Mount Moriah, coming up through South Haven. Just now actually starting to build northbound, 55 as you head up through South Memphis. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. They're online. Check them them out today at TomahawkCrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome in if you're just tuning in. Hour 2 of the program. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you on this Tuesday, February 27th, 2024. We are in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Their floor model sale continues at 2120 Whitten Road. That is just north of I-40. Currently 64 degrees. We are under a wind advisory. We're talking about 20 to 30 miles per hour sustained with a 40-mile-per-hour gusts possible. 77's the high, and it looks very ominous out there. Although, again, I'm reading right from the forecast, says 15% chance of rain, but they say a stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. I would bet there will be some sort of precipitation. Tonight, 49 degrees, cloudy skies with periods of rain late, low 49, as I said. And the wind still brisk at 15 to 25. Chance of rain at 60%. Again, those gusts could go up to about 40 miles per hour. Tomorrow, you're looking at a cloudy day with a high of only 56. So about 20 degrees cooler than what we're going to get today for a high. Coming up a little bit later on in the hour, Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis. I want to get back into the topic that has been a hot topic this week in the world of sports, and that is court storming. But it's Tuesday. It's time for Humdinger's Trivia.
That's right. Over at Humdinger's, the new look Humdingers with some new menu items and just a new look inside Humdingers. If you haven't been over there recently, you need to get over, check it out, and maybe even check out some of those new menu items. Of course, they've still got all the favorites on there as well, so maybe you're very happy with those and you don't need anything new. That certainly is very understandable. Of course, on Tuesdays, it's still Taco Tuesday with the chicken and fish tacos, just $2 each over at Humdingers. The crispy fish and chips, they got the special on Fridays on the crispy fish and chips. Of course, a lot of folks out there going through with Lent right now and looking for those great fish options. Well, they've got plenty of those for you over at Humdinger, all the grilled fish options with the crispy fish and chips and so much more. Go check them out at Poplar and Massey. You can also find them online, humdingersrestaurant.com. Check out that entire menu. Check out some of those new menu items before you head on over there. If you can be the first to answer a trivia question correctly today, well, then you got an opportunity. You will win a $25 gift certificate to Humdingers. If you're the first to answer correctly, you will get a $25 gift certificate to Humdingers to go try out the new look, the new and improved Humdingers, again, over at Poplar and Massey. You can answer via text. 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. That is the number. Text in those answers, and the first one, again, with the correct answer gets the $25 gift certificate to Humdingers. And this week, of course, with March now just about upon us, starting to think about March Madness, little NCAA tournament trivia for you. Which school was the first to go to 5 consecutive Final Fours? Which school was the first to go to 5 consecutive Final Fours? 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. Get those answers in, and the first correct answer will get that $25 gift certificate to Humdingers. First school that went to 5 straight Final Fours.
Did you watch any of the match last night?
I watched a lot of the match. I had no idea that the match was even on last night.
I completely forgot about it.
I didn't forget about it because I never knew about it. But then I started getting an alert on my phone about the match, and I said, oh, how about that? And the Grizzlies game was terrible. So I said, you know what? I'll watch the match. And so I watched. I started watching probably around hole 3 or 4 and watched the rest of it.
So who sends you the alert? Like, where's it come from? ESPN? It's TNT event, right?
It was probably a Bleacher Report.
A Bleacher Report? Wow, okay. I knew the match was coming up because I saw the advertisements for it. but I forgot. I completely forgot, so I didn't see any of it. I know they played 12 holes, and it took over 3.5 hours to play the 12 holes, so it was a long night. And I know that Rory McIlroy ended up cashing the most for, I guess it's for his charities, but it was Max Homa, Rory, Rose Zhang, and Lexi Thompson. But it wasn't a team thing, right? It was they were all.
It's just individuals, basically a skids game.
So, did he win all the skins?
Lexi won one. Lexi, I think, won actually the first one that anybody won, and then Rory won the rest of it. With the last 1.1 million was all won. They actually had to go to a shootout after they had tied the last hole, so they went back to like 100 yards and just did a closest to the pin for the final. I don't remember how many skins that was, and Rory hit it to like 4 feet and won that. So he took all of that. It was actually funny because the other one that Rory won one that was like 300,000, and he had made he had 2-putted and on a par 3, and Max Homa, who had hit it closest to the pin, he was like hit it to like 15 feet. He ran his first putt past, and he was walking up, he's like, Rory's going to make me putt that. Rory's like, I am going to make you putt that. He was like, Homa's like, do you understand, like, my mom's watching and she's going to have to watch me 3-putt from 15 feet? And sure enough, he misses the putt. And then the other two girls missed their second putt as well. So Rory won it with a par and won like 300,000 on that one. And Homa was so disgusted with himself, like that he 3-putted that one. But it was fun. It was good. I mean, talking to them.
Did the women tee from the women's tee?
Yeah, they played up.
Yeah.
And it was funny. Like Rose Zhang, you could tell like she was just like, this is just cool to be out here. Like she was just, this is cool to be out here with these people. Like watch this. Like she was amazed by Rory and how far he hits the ball, all this stuff. She was just kind of like, she looked like the fan. Like just was like, I don't care about anything else. This is just cool to be out here.
So has it jumped the shark, this event? Is it still a cool event? You got Charles Barkley. Again, I didn't see any of it, but I know pretty much what went on because
it's
Charles.
Not nearly what it used to be. Again, once you take Tiger out of it, everything is.
Well, even without Tiger, when they had Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce and all that was pretty fun. I mean, Barkley, you know what you're going to get from Barkley, right? As one of the analysts, and they have Trevor Immelman. And is Ernie involved? Ernie Johnson, right? Yeah. You know, so they got a good crew there. I know Khaled was part of that, right? DJ Khaled?
Yeah, he was doing, like, he was kind of, from what there was one time where he came out and was joking about on a par 3 where to hit it or something like that, but really not that much involved.
Well, supposedly, and I don't know when it took place, he and Charles Barkley played a 3-hole event.
Yeah, I think they had played earlier in the day. That's what he was talking about on that. When he came out to talk to them about the par 3, he's like, don't hit in that bunker. Charles was in there for like an hour or something like that. He couldn't get out of it, something like that. But no, I mean, it's not by any means some great event. Again, Tiger, when it was Tiger and Phil, or really just Tiger and anybody.
Right.
It was way better. But it's like last night was basically just like the old skins games. Like when they had it like, they used to, well before the match, the old days when they used to do a skins game, where you guys out there just competing for skins, and it's cool to see it under the lights. I think always watching it, see it golf under the lights and that, and the interviews with them and talking to them in the middle of it and everything else. I think is always interesting.
Where was it this year?
It was down. It's a new, like, I guess, and I missed the start, so I didn't. But it's a new, like, public course down at West Palm. It's called like the Park or something. It's this thing that they've built, I guess, to really, for kids, and to really try and grow the game amongst kids. That's because the whole thing last night was geared. All the money was going. There was money being raised for First Tee. Like, it was really focused on kids. There were a ton of kids out there watching and everything else, and it was really geared towards talking about getting kids involved in golf.
Now that you don't have a Tiger Woods, you know, Rory still as popular as anybody on the tour. But would you rather see celebrities / other athletes from other sports, or would you rather see the golfers?
I believe you have to have golfers. Like, that's why I didn't like the whole Mahomes,
Kelce,
and Josh Allen, and Kelce, and whoever the other one was. Like, I think you have to have professional golfers involved.
I would like a mixture. Have 2 professional golfers, have 2 amateurs, the tag team, the team competition rather than the solo competition. All right, speaking of golf, Anthony Kim, for those out there who are followers of the game of golf, fans of the game of golf, you probably remember this name, Anthony Kim. Anthony Kim at one point, years ago, was a really good golfer. I mean, he was on the cusp of breaking through and maybe winning some majors. I know he won some PGA events. And then he got hurt, and then he disappeared. And he disappeared for 11 years. The guy was a hermit. You never heard from Anthony Kim. He's 38 years old, so it's not like he's 55. He is reportedly going to play in this week's LIV event in Saudi Arabia. Greg Norman on social media kind of hinted to that. Hint, hint, blink, blink, wink, wink. But it looks like it's going to happen. I mean, a guy who has been gone for over a decade. I am interested to see what Anthony Kim can do. And I know there was talks about PGA and all that, but then again, he had that suit that they're talking about now. If he returns to golf, he has to pay back $10 to $20 million. It's really
he's got disability.
Yeah,
that's a big disability check.
The disability check, but can you get better? I mean, can you have the check, be disabled, and then get better? I don't know what his actually was. Was it a lifelong disability check where, the injuries that he dealt with were not only career-threatening, but they weren't life-threatening, career-ending. But I don't know. I mean, it's a strange thing. It's weird. I saw a story yesterday on Fox, and I posted it on my Twitter account, Greg_Gaston. It came from a woman in Europe, I think it was, and she had a lawsuit going, big lawsuit. And it looked like she's definitely going to win this lawsuit for like disability type of thing. And she went out and she competed in a Christmas tree throwing competition. So they had the video of her throwing a Christmas tree. She won. So there it goes. Sorry, Judge, look what we have. Here's the video. So she blew that money because she had the thrill of throwing this Christmas tree, wherever the hell that was. So again, with Kim, you're getting that disability, but apparently the lure of trying to, get back and play competitively golf after over a decade. I think it's a cool story. I am really going to be interested to see how he plays this year.
Yeah, I mean, certainly it's...
Or plays in this event, I should say.
I think a lot of people would be interested just to see because he was a rock star.
He was.
When he first came out, and he won a couple of events early on. And he was one of the big, he kind of was... A lot of people looked at him like as the next kind of face of golf. Like
right.
He was a big time deal. And then with all the injuries and everything else to just kind of go away. And, there were a lot of rumors about issues he may have had off the course. But to see him back and trying to do this, I think there'll be a lot of people interested just to see what he's able to do.
Congratulations to Naquan Tomlin, Tigers forward, named the American Conference Player of the Week. In 2 games, 2 wins over Charlotte and Florida Atlantic. Naquan averaged 18.5 points, 7 rebounds per game, 1.5 steals per game, 1.5 blocks per game. And boy, oh boy, if they are to beat Florida Atlantic in Boca and win the conference tournament down in Fort Worth, he is extremely pivotal for this team. So congratulations to Naquan Tomlin.
I am so disappointed in our listeners. I mean, I would not possibly throw you such a softball question.
They said UCLA, right? Is that what their guess was?
Like everybody's guessing UCLA. Like I'm not going to give it. I'm not just going to throw it on a silver platter for you and just let you say, here's a gimme. I mean, come on. That's like a 6-inch putt, for goodness sake. I mean, that would be ridiculous. It is not UCLA. UCLA, yes, they went to many Final Fours in a row. As a matter of fact, they went to 10. Or no, is it 10? Yeah, 10. But they were not the first to do it. They were actually the second to do it. There's only 3 that have ever done it. UCLA did it from 67 to 76. Duke did it from 88 to 92. But if you go back to the early 60s, actually started in 1959, the first school to go to 5 straight Final Fours, that would be Cincinnati.
Yep. That was, Jerry Lucas on that team? Is that right? No,
Oscar Robertson.
Oscar Robertson. Was Jerry Lucas on that team? Let me see. But anyway, they had a great team. The Big O leading the way. But those Cincinnati teams were incredible.
They won 2 titles in that 5-year stretch. Duke won 2 titles in their 5-year stretch. UCLA won 8 titles in their 10-year stretch that they went to those Final Fours. But Cincinnati is the correct answer. And so there's no tiebreaker needed here. Actually, one person that ended up getting the correct answer because everybody in the world was guessing UCLA. Come on, people.
I'm wrong, by the way. Jerry Lucas, Ohio State, not Cincinnati. Same state, but wrong school.
So people guessing North Carolina, very logical guess, but North Carolina's never been to 5 straight. They've been to the most Final Fours overall, I believe it is, but they have not been to 5 straight. So Cincinnati, the correct answer. We'll be notifying our winner, let you know how you're going to get your prize. $25 gift certificate. 2 Humdingers will be coming your way.
Who else was on that team beside the Big O? Not that they needed much when you got Oscar Robertson. Gosh, I'm curious. I'm going to find out and give you that information when we come back. Also, when we come back, Jeff Crane, University of Memphis. We'll talk with him. Probably not much he can say about Malco, but certainly we'll ask. And obviously the Senior Day game on Sunday with the Tigers hosting UAB. Also, we'll talk more about the big hot topic in college sports, court storming, and what can be done. Some suggestions from a couple of different individuals on that I think are interesting. We'll do that a little bit later on in the show, and Zoe Goodson will join us for our road segment at 9:05. Second hour of the program is brought to you by our friends at James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. They are your family's jeweler. You know they are your bridal engagement anniversary jeweler headquarters because I've been telling you for years and years. But also, if you're looking for just a beautiful watch, they have a wide variety of watches for both men and for women. If you are looking for custom-made jewelry, they have it. If you're looking for gemstones of all types, they have that for you as well. Bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants, plus one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. Variety is the spice of life. They have variety. No question about it, James Gaddis Jewelers, but they also have quality and quality people to help you. They are full-service jewelers with 2 bench jewelers ready to serve you daily. All their diamonds are independently graded and certified. They know there's a lot of competition out there, so they have a price point to suit everyone's budget. Again, if you're looking for that special engagement ring, wedding ring, personally designed wedding sets, James Gaddis Jewelers is the place to go. But also, as I mentioned, for watches and bracelets and necklaces and so on and so on and so on, it's James Gaddis Jewelers in the heart of East Memphis, 4900 Poplar, on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Jeff Crane's next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's leap year, so jump into big savings at Gossett Kia on the Pike. New 2024 Kia Forte LXS gets 41 MPG, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. How about 7-passenger seating? Get 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease, and don't forget, every Gossett Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So call Bobby J to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online anytime at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee. Forte RE 722.812 MSRP 21,590. Sorrento PG 242710 MSRP 33,010. Telluride RG 462.822 MSRP 38,705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 2/29/24 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text JUDGE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text JUDGE to 42424. That's JUDGE to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Hi, this is Kiari Kane, the point guard at the University of Memphis women's basketball. Whether it's a spring break vacation or a home renovation, apply today for a personal loan with Southern Security. Join Southern Security today and make your dreams a reality. Southern Security is a proud supporter of University of Memphis athletics and 901 women. Southern Security, your home team credit union.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis. This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Building. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. The police are still working with a couple of accidents. It remains heavy out here on 40 West as you travel between Germantown Parkway and Sycamore View Road. It's also crowded over here on 240, especially going westbound, passing Sam Cooper. Some of that traffic getting off there onto Sam Cooper, continuing inbound. Still looks good up through Midtown on 240 northbound here at Lamar. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in Memphis. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out. TomahawkCrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:27 is the time. Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis joins us in just a moment. I was just looking up Cincinnati after your trivia question for Humdinger's Trivia. My gosh, I mean, I knew obviously they were a great program, one of the better programs of all time, but the numbers are mind-boggling. You mentioned that them being the first school to go to 5 straight Final Fours. They were the first school to reach 3 straight national championship games, won back-to-back titles in 61, 62. I don't know why I said Havlicek. Havlicek, I'm sorry, why I said Jerry Lucas. Jerry Lucas and John Havlicek, I don't know if they crossed over, but they were stars at Ohio State. The Big O at Cincinnati. And they have a statue out there with the Big O. The Big O pretty much did it himself because I'm looking at some of the players that played back in his era. Jack Twyman's a Hall of Famer. He's in the Basketball Hall of Fame. But I believe he was done by the time the Big O came in. And then when the Big O came in, man, oh man, did they become this unbelievable program. He was a unanimous 3-time All-American. And then after that, they had the great run with Bob Huggins, number of really, really good teams. And then you just look at how many times they've been to the NCAA tournament and the round of 32 and the Sweet 16. Pretty impressive from the University of Cincinnati. One of the former great rivals of the University of Memphis. Be nice one day to be able to get back to having Cincinnati, having Louisville as a chief rival. But, one can only wish. Time now for Jeff Crane.
It's time to talk Memphis Tigers athletics. Joining Greg and Eli is University of Memphis Deputy Athletics Director Jeff Crane. Here's Jeff with Greg and Eli.
Each week we get a chance to catch up on everything that's happening over at University of Memphis with their athletics department. He is Jeff Crane, University of Memphis Deputy AD. You can follow him on Twitter at jcrane75. Hey, Jeff.
Morning, guys.
Jeff, I know there's not much you can say on the situation that arose over the weekend. You guys made a statement about Malcolm Dandridge and the academics. I assume this is an internal investigation within the school, and is there any understanding of maybe when this, how long this timeline will go with the investigation?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not in a position to speak on the specifics there, but we are going through a process to better understand all that went on related to that situation, and no timeline yet in terms of how that may look, and clearly we want to bring closure to it as quickly as possible. However,
is it something that is this just an internal thing, or could it end up being something that the NCAA would investigate?
Yeah, I don't think we know at this stage, how this will all play out. At this point, we're just doing our internal due diligence.
Okay. The team, without Malcolm Dandridge, went out on Sunday in front of a very good crowd, one of your best crowds, obviously, of the season, and knocked off Florida Atlantic. One of the games that certainly was circled before the season as far as the American Conference, one of the marquee games was Memphis and Florida Atlantic. I mean, it lost a tad luster, Jeff, because obviously the Tigers hit the skids there in the middle, but we certainly saw Sunday what type of team the Tigers can be when they're clicking on all cylinders, and certainly this season is not over by a long shot, but Sunday was incredible.
Yeah, it really was. Over 13,000 fans in FedEx Forum, and I think it's just such a testament to our fan base. I mean, we've had lots of ups and downs clearly this season, and our fans have stuck with us. The crowd was absolutely tremendous. They really lifted our team, and I think played a big role in that win on Sunday. Great atmosphere and great effort by our student athletes. And this is what you want this time of year. Is you want to capture some momentum. I mean, you always see teams that this time of year they get on a roll and they kind of catch a spark that lifts them into the tournament, and that is very much a possibility for our team.
Speaking of fans and everything else, atmosphere, a big topic of conversation is court storming. Obviously applies to the football field as well. In basketball, you guys you haven't had those situations where you're playing that type of team or whatever, like something like that would happen. It certainly could happen in football. How much of a topic of conversation is it in an office to talk about if you've got a big game coming up, what are we doing? And how much is this talked about on a regular basis of how do you prevent this type of thing from happening?
Yeah, I mean, it's really unfortunate when you see some of the outcomes that we've seen recently on fields and courts. And it's definitely something that we take into consideration, and we talk with our partners at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium and FedEx Forum about, and make sure we have plans. And, those are things we're often even talking about as games go on. Our security does a really good job of monitoring situations and identifying areas that could be of concern for that. I think it's going to take some dramatic steps to fully eliminate that. There's some talk out there about game forfeiture if you storm the court or storm the field, and I kind of think that's probably what it's going to take to end some of that. It's very difficult to ultimately physically stop hundreds and in some cases thousands of people from coming onto a court, no matter what you do. So I think it's going to take some dramatic steps to fully eliminate it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Greg Byrne, the Alabama AD, suggested the forfeiture of a win for a home team when a massive amount of fans swarm the court. He didn't say anything about the field, but I would assume that would be the case too. Of course, he doesn't have to worry about that because Alabama fans aren't swarming the field for some upset in football. They're always the team expected to win. If they win, the fans aren't leaving their seats. But I understand the point that he's making, because he's making the opinion of something drastic to happen. We know that the SEC has a financial penalty for storming the court or storming the field. The ACC unbelievably does not, and you had the injury to Kyle Filipowski from Duke over the weekend, who, by the way, is fine, folks, because we were wondering about his status. But, Jeff, is there a rule in place from the American Conference as far as court storming or field storming and a monetary penalty?
Yeah, I am. We've not experienced that level of court or field storming here, and so I'm unaware of any penalty that exists in the American. Not saying that it doesn't, but if it does, I'm not familiar with it. So makes me believe there may not be something that exists there. But regardless of that, clearly we want to take the steps needed, and we do so on a regular basis to be sure that the student athletes, coaches, referees, etc., are put in the safest possible position.
With the fact that with like FedEx Forum, you're a tenant of the Grizzlies, I guess. If you had a big game coming up where like this would be like you've got a number one team or something coming into FedEx Forum, and you thought you needed extra security, would that be on you guys or on the Grizzlies?
Yeah, we probably work together on that. There's kind of a baseline level of services, be that security or ushers or whatever it may be, that the forum provides for our games. And we've had those sort of conversations in the past because we're expecting larger than normal crowds and those sorts of things. And it likely we would work together on that. There's it's not clearly stated as it relates to who would cover those costs, but likely anything above and beyond what would be normal would be at our expense.
Last week when we had you on, we were talking about the upcoming couple of weeks where you guys are just inundated with sporting events. I mean, it is busy, busy, busy. You have baseball this afternoon. You have baseball again tomorrow. You have women's basketball at home tomorrow night. You've had a lot of softball. You got softball again this weekend. And, of course, Sunday will be the senior day game for Memphis men's basketball against UAB. So how have you been able to handle things as far as your staff and everybody involved over at the university?
Yeah, we've had a really busy week here, and another one that we're in now. And, really want to talk for a second about our women's basketball program.
Sure.
We're on a 3-game win streak, which is really exciting, and play again tomorrow night at home against UTSA at 7 o'clock. So they're playing some great basketball at just the right time. And encourage folks to come out to Park Avenue campus and check out our baseball and softball programs. We had a great atmosphere out there this weekend and got the series win over Bowling Green in baseball. And you had asked a while back about baseball, some new things. One of the things that we created, and Coach Reiser was a real proponent of this, was a kind of an outfield student section. And so that seems to be catching on, and really looking forward to some fun atmosphere out of baseball and softball this spring.
Yeah, the first game that we did on ESPN Plus, I was quite impressed with how many folks had come out. There's still room for a lot more, but man, it was nice to see. And I know Matt's going out there and he's talking to fraternities and he's talking to probably sororities as well, and getting people to come on out from the campus and from the city and the community to support baseball. Also, as I mentioned with Senior Day, the women played tomorrow night.
They play again on Saturday. Is that senior day for the basketball team for the women?
Yes, that would be senior day, March 2nd, 2 p.m. On Saturday.
Okay.
Against UAB.
And then, as I mentioned, on Sunday against UAB. So they're both against UAB?
Yes. Yep. The men and the women play UAB this weekend.
Do you know how many players for the men will be going through the ceremony? Because it's been weird since COVID, right? With the ceremonies, we've had players go through it, and then they're back on the team the next year. You know, Malco for certain. I mean, there's a guy who had senior day last year. He's back on the team, at least up until this last game. We'll see where things are. But as far as the seniors being honored, do you have any idea how many will be?
Yeah, that's kind of a national topic in our industry. Senior day has become some sort of kind of unknown commodity because we never really know until probably 24 hours before who wants to say they're a senior and who doesn't. And to your point, that doesn't always mean they won't be back on the team. So to answer your question, I don't know who ultimately will walk across the court as a senior for our men's and women's basketball team this weekend, but just another reason to come out to the game.
Sure, you never know.
The mystery.
It might be Jeff himself.
Who would have ever thought when you got into this business that one of the things you'd end up having trouble with it later on would be determining who seniors are and who aren't?
Yeah, that's the truth. If you had told somebody that, they'd be like, "This, you guys are crazy."
So I got a hypothetical for you. Look. Obviously, the men's basketball team feel that they can make a run. If they can't get in that large, they can win the AQ down at Dickies Arena. You've talked about tickets. Obviously, it would be nice to see a lot of people come down and support them. But if they come up short and don't get into the NCAA tournament, the NCAA regional is here in Memphis. So the first two rounds.
Right.
Would that be an issue then? Let's say it was the NIT. Because there are some people saying, well, there's a team that was ranked 10th at one point. They should turn down an NIT invitation. If you had the regional here, it probably means you would have to play on the road, at least at the beginning of the NIT. Do you think that would hamper the ability to accept a bid because you probably don't want to play on the road? You don't want to play in the NIT, let's be honest, but that maybe you don't want to play on the road. How would that work, and whose decision would that ultimately be? Your guys?
Yeah, ultimately, Coach Hardaway is going to make that decision. He'll certainly do that, and consultation with Laird and our sport administrator, Marlon DeChaussee, works really closely with men's basketball. And on the, kind of the behind the scenes, we've been working through that with FedEx Forum to determine what the flexibility may or may not be there, as the NIT could be an option for us. So, we want to put our team in the best possible position to win. Playing at home is a big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
The regionals are a big deal for this city, and so that may stop us from being able to play the first game or two. But we're actually looking at every possible scenario to see what could be on the table to even play those games at home if that's a possibility. So looking at all options.
Well, Jeff, it looks like you are correct. According to the ESPN article I'm looking at, there were 11 conferences who said they have possible fines in place for court storming incidents. The American is not one of them. So if you are correct, there does not appear to be any sort of thing in the American for court storming punishment.
Thank you for that clarification.
So you got that right. You may not know who a senior is for sure, but nobody does. But you did know that policy. You nailed it.
That's exactly right.
We not only entertain, we educate as well here on the program. And then finally, my legally obligated question about Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium renovations. We're almost into March. Where are we at?
Yeah, I think, this is the time of year when all this stuff starts to come together. I mean, we anticipate the 2024 conference schedule to come out any day now. Not long after that, we'll put our season tickets on sale, and we'll need to provide a lot of information related to the 2024 season. So,
right.
We are merely weeks away from a whole lot more information than we have today. as it relates to timelines, etc. We're not quite ready to go out publicly because we still have some decisions we've got to make. And as I mentioned, probably most importantly, we still have a lot of money still to raise. So that has been our focus over the last couple of months, and will remain as the project goes. So no hot news to break today, but coming soon.
But the schedule you expect sometime this week?
Yeah, we should see the schedule before the end of the week. Absolutely.
All right, Jeff. Next week we'll hold you on, breaking at least 2-3 stories on the program.
Yes, sir.
And we'll come up with some other question to test you on, on league policy.
Please do.
You aced it, Jeff. No, we give you an A. Thank you, Jeff. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Go Tigers, go.
Jeff Crane, University of Memphis Deputy AD, joins us each and every Tuesday to talk Memphis athletics.
Folks, if you got a move coming up, if you're moving to a new home, maybe you're moving to a new office, any kind of move that you've got coming up, you want to make sure you got the right people, the professionals to help you with that move. Don't be trying to do it yourself. Don't be talking to your friends, asking them to help you do it. Get the professionals. Get it done right. And the right professionals, well, that would be Black Tie Moving. Black Tie Moving, 901-316-6196 or blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. That's the website. You can go to there or just give them a call. Talk with the folks at Black Tie. Come up with that plan for your move, fitting both your needs and fitting your budget as well. Plus, they'll give you a no-obligation quote up front so you know exactly what it's going to cost. You get a moving concierge who's available to answer questions that may come up throughout the process right there whenever you need them. It can be a stressful process, but when you've got the professionals, the right professionals to do it for you, well, that takes a lot of that stress and worry out of it for you. Give them a call, 901-316-6196, or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Get the professionals to help you with your move, the professionals from Black Tie Moving.
All right, we touched on it a little bit with what Greg Byrne had to say about court storming with Jeff. When we come back, I want to talk more about that, but also what Jay Billis had to say about court storming and how to end it. We'll do that when we return. If you'd like to comment, Sports 56 listener lines are open. You can call in or text in at 901-360-8255. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkheimer for Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. What a great time to buy a new or used car or truck and save money at Sunrise. The largest selection in over a year, over 500 new Buicks and GMCs to choose from, an $8 million used car inventory. See them all at sunrisememphis.com. Factory rebates up to $6,000 and Sunrise discounts high as $10,000. Immediate financing available with loans low as 0% on select models. Cars and trucks under $10,000. When it comes to selection and savings, it doesn't get any better than this, partner. Come on in and save some money at Sunrise. Coming to Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
Success is more than a destination. It's a path you take one step at a time. It's dedication, it's fortitude, and it's the hard work and passion inside of us that comes before all recognition. That's what Stifel's been doing for over 130 years, and it's why Stifel is one of the fastest growing wealth management firms in the country. From helping you plan for retirement, save for college, and leave a lasting legacy, Stifel has you covered. As a client, you'll have access to award-winning equity research and investment strategy views, enabling you to make informed decisions regarding your hard-earned wealth. Because success is the drive it takes to keep pushing. It's the passion to keep investing. It's the best of each of us made better by the best in all of us. And that is where success meets success. Find a financial advisor at Stifel.com. That's Stifel.com. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779.
Now, back back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
All right, so we've been talking about court storming. We have field storming as well in football, but I don't think the uproar has been as vocal as it's been for this because football players aren't getting hurt. They got helmets on. In fact, they're probably hurting the spectators running through them more than the spectators are hurting them, not purposely. The guy was not trying to hurt Filipowski. And again, it's good news that he is going to be okay. But it's certainly something to be concerned about when you had Caitlin Clark run into Filipowski and others. So I mentioned, Jeff Crane brought it up, about the suggestion, which came from Greg Byrne, the Alabama AD, about forfeiting a game. If a mass of fans swarm the court, then the home team should forfeit a game. That is really extreme. Would the fans oblige? Would they stay in their seats because knowing that their team gets a loss? Because I don't think they're worried about the school having to pay a fine whatsoever. They don't care because they continue to do it, even though the fines continue to go up for certain schools. So he said that. And then Jay Billis said this.
But the truth is, nothing's going to change now. We're going to talk about it, and it's going to go away, and nothing's going to change. And if they wanted to stop it, they could stop it tomorrow. The administrators will tell you that security experts tell them that it's not a good idea to try to stop the court storming, that could cause more problems than it would solve. But you don't have to stop the court storming. One time, all you have to do is once they're on the court, don't let them off. Just say you're all detained and give them all citations or arrest them if you want to. And then court stormings will stop the next day. There's no accountability for this. The fans feel like it's an entitlement, and the universities like it, and the truth is we like it. Now, one last thing on this.
All right, look, Jay, friend of the show, as intelligent as anybody out there in the world of sports broadcasting, I think it's ludicrous. I mean, everything he said as far as it's encouraged and certainly the money, the fines, that is not something that fans are concerned with. That's not going to keep them from doing what they want to do. But detaining them and citations, how are you going to detain thousands of people? Really, what are you going to do? You're going to pull out guns and threaten to kill them if they leave the court, if they run out of the arena? Citations? That's what you're going to do? That's the answer? I think that's stupid. I think the one thing that Greg Burns said has more legs in my opinion, but I still think it's as simple as what I said the other day. Yes, I'm going to pat myself on the back because I think this could be the answer. And really, part of it is what Penny Hardaway had to say. You know when there's going to be court. Now, I'm talking strictly basketball here, where players get hurt because they're vulnerable. They don't have equipment on. You know when there's going to be a court storming. You know it. The fans are starting to come down. You see it. You can feel it. Come on, you know it. So either get rid of the greeting line at the end, have those teams just get off the court, and then let them storm the court. Or make an announcement and say, listen, we are going to let you storm the court. Just be patient. Let the other team get off the court. The home team may want to celebrate with the fans. They're going to be on the court. Let the other team go off the court. Security's all up at every corner there. And then they say, all right, now you can storm the court. Boom, storm the court. I think it's simple to be able to fix this. But I think what Jay is saying is an extreme that won't work. And what Byrne is saying is an extreme that could work, but I don't know if they want to go down that road. What do you think?
As I said yesterday, I would go the Jay Billis route.
How are you going
Until
to do
there
that?
is punishment for the people doing it, they're not going to stop doing it.
Okay, tell me how you're doing that. You're going to pick out just a few people? Entertainment?
Again, you've got cameras everywhere. Most of these people are students. I can find who these students are by looking at them on camera and figuring them out. I don't have to do it right there.
Oh, dudes with the face paints on and the disguises.
And if I miss some, whatever, I get as many as I possibly can. And then, you know what? That deters them the next time. And if they want to do it the next time, then I get the next group of people. But until there's punishment for the people doing something, they're not going to stop doing something. If you tell me, if you do this, I'm going to punish that guy, I'm going to go, I don't care what you do to him, I'll keep doing it. Punish me, I'll go, wait a second, like I don't like this.
I understand the premise of what you're saying and the premise of what he's saying. I don't think you can do it. I don't think it's possible to do it. And are you talking strictly basketball? Because if you're talking football, there's even more people. Excuse me.
I'm talking any sport when they do it. Yes,
try to detain 30,000
You don't have to detain them. Like you can.
Well, that's what he said.
There's cameras all over the place. It's easy to find who students are.
It's not just students.
But most of them are students.
But
most of the time it's students.
And
if you start penalizing those students, they will then go, you know what? This is having a real consequence on me. It's not worth it for me to take punishment just to say I went out on the court.
Again, I understand what you're saying. The penalty would certainly do that. If somebody was arrested, it would certainly affect whether or not they did it again. I've seen football stadiums where pretty much the whole damn stadium came down onto the field. That includes much more than just students. That includes older people. That includes younger people. That includes everybody that have stormed the field or stormed the court. Yes, the students lead the brigade, no question about it.
You don't have to get all of them. If there's the threat that if I go down there, I might be one of the ones they do get, then I'm not going to do it.
It's not going to work. There's no way that's going to work. Why can't you simply say, first of all, don't do the greeting that Penny Hardaway.
Well, this wasn't about Filipowski. Wasn't because there was a greeting line. He's in the middle of the court, like they're coming out on the court. Like there's no time to get off the court when they come out there.
Then do what I said.
They make announcements all the time about not storming the court. They still storm the court.
No. Have you ever seen Jim Boeheim when he was coaching grab the microphone, or Greg Popovich grab the microphone and say, "Don't do this"? They don't do it. After those guys, there's the respect for those coaches. Most people adhere to that. I'm saying, listen, here's the system we're going to have. Stortcorming, we're allowing stortcorming, right? As long as the home team is fine with it, they're going to celebrate. They're going to be about to pull off the big upset. You make the announcement then. We allow the visiting team to go off the court, open up the floodgates, come onto the court. That's fine. That's your prerogative.
Because college students listen to those instructions very well, especially drunk ones.
Well, again, security is more ready to go knowing that this is going to happen, not it may happen. I mean, it's just a suggestion that I'm giving you. I think it's a lot better than trying to detain and give citations for thousands and thousands and thousands of people because there's a couple of cameras in there that you're saying. I think Jay's off on this one. And as far as forfeiting the game, okay, I could even go as far as that. Although Greg Byrne, it's easy for him to say, Alabama fans aren't rushing the field because they're picked to beat everybody they play. It's no big deal. So I don't understand. It would be the opposite. It would be if some team if Vanderbilt upset Alabama at Vanderbilt. That's when you'd have. Of course, you wouldn't have that many people in the stands probably, but you get the point. I mean, so it's easy for him to say something like that.
The forfeiture of games, I think, is dumb.
Well, that's an extreme. That's an absolute extreme, but he's thinking the extreme will stop that from happening. I'm telling you, it's not going to stop. It's like gun violence. It's not stopping. So what can you do to curtail it, to slow it down, to make sure that people that shouldn't have guns don't have guns? It's all of that. I mean, you have to be able to
there has to be real punishment for the people doing it.
Oh, there's real punishment. Well, I'm getting off on a tangent here with gun violence, but as far as this is concerned, I mean, what kind of punishment you want to give them? Want to give them 10 years in jail for storming the court?
I fine them.
Fine 30,000 people that run onto a football field. All right,
as
good
many
luck.
as I can.
Good luck. And then the rest of them didn't go out the first time.
With students,
it's
very easy because you could do stuff to not allow them to graduate because it's just like a parking ticket or anything else. Like you've got ability to impose fines, and if it isn't paid, you can't graduate, things like this. So again, it's very easy with students.
Was that Jim Smith with the
with the blue hair and the painted face.
You don't think these schools know who all the students are if they look at them on camera?
I absolutely don't.
They do, too. They could easily do this.
No. Not thousands and thousands. If there's 200 of them, yes, I can understand that. But thousands and thousands, no. I don't think they understand.
I mean, do you understand the technology we have today? They've got these kids on camera. They could tell you every one of them immediately if they have their face on camera.
Okay. Well, we think differently on this. I don't think it's possible what he's suggesting. Absolutely. I don't think it curtails it. I don't think it slows it down. The only thing that does is
telling him not to do it.
No.
That's what you said. Make an announcement. That'll stop it.
No, what I'm saying is you allow store corming. Store corming is allowed. Here's the rule. You got to wait till the team's off the court, and then you go crazy.
And what if they don't wait?
Well, I don't think it'd be thousands.
We're right back where we are. That's the whole point. They're not going to wait.
I'm willing to try it because there are coaches, again, that will scream and say, fans will start saying something, and then Popovich will turn around. Or, again, I use Boeheim as an example. Other coaches have done that. They've taken the microphone and said, don't do this. We wouldn't do it here. Huggins did it. And they shut up. They listen. They listen to their coach. They listen. Sure, there's some rogue people out there that won't. Sure, they're all drunk. They still listen to those coaches. They listen. I'm not saying they listen all the time to authority. But right now, it is not only frowned upon, but it is not allowed. Store corming or field storming in football. In the SEC, obviously the schools are penalized financially. So I think, and they don't care about that. But I think if there was rules on how to do it and how to do it safely, then they may adhere to that. That's all I'm saying. All right, we'll take a timeout, come back. Hour number 3 of the program. We open it up with Zoe Goodson for our weekly Roads segment. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
They say you can't pick the best barbecue in Memphis.
Who is they?
The people that say things.
Like what?
Well, that you can't pick the best barbecue in Memphis.
Well, that's ridiculous. It's Central Barbecue.
Well, I'm telling you, these people said that you can't even say Central Barbecue is the best barbecue in Memphis.
But it is. There's no better slow smoke, perfectly cooked barbecue in Memphis or anywhere else.
Look, I'm just saying that they say.
What else did they say?
Well, that the earth is flat.
You have got to get off of social media.
That's what they say as well.
Get ready for the live tennis event of the year, the Netflix Slam, on March 3rd at 12:30 p.m. Pacific. Join 22-time Grand Slam champion and tennis legend Rafael Nadal as he takes on world number 2, Carlos Alcaraz, and witness a tennis showdown like never before. This live Netflix sports event promises unparalleled tennis action, so don't miss the thrill. Mark your calendars for March 3rd, 12:30 p.m. Pacific. It's Game, Set, Match on Netflix.
It's a new year, and Family Leisure has a new way to bring family and fun together. All you have to do is walk into Family Leisure and look around. All those floor model patio sets you see, those have got to go, so Family Leisure can make room for all the new sets coming. Get a wicker sofa set for under $2,000. Pool tables under $1,500. Theater seating for under $2,000. Hot tubs for $4,000 or just for yourself. If you really want to lounge, they're under $5,000. Need patio cushions? Get them as low as $25. Oh, have you seen those infrared steam saunas? Well, now they and the traditional saunas are 25% off. It may just be the first few weeks of 2024, but that doesn't mean you can't start getting ready for summer. 2 final things. Purchase your above-ground pool now and get first in line for installation, and take advantage of special financing that's available. Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, bringing the family and the fun back together.
Sports 56 traffic brought to you by Curfew.
Enjoy the ultimate dining experience at Curfew. Tuesday is Ladies' Night with $8 Cosmos, lemon drops, and daiquiris. Curfew American Tavern Craft Cocktails, your new destination. 164 Union Avenue, main floor of the Canopy Hotel.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. The police are still out here with a couple of accidents. We're still seeing heavy traffic over here making its way westbound down I-40 here at Sycamore View Road, getting on that flyover. Some of that traffic is getting off there onto Sam Cooper. It remains pretty busy now. Finally, over here on 240 westbound, right when you come off that ramp from 385 passing Mount Moriah, and still holding up through South Haven on 55 going northbound. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. Yes, I'm talking about Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Good morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. Final hour for us today here on the program. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd on this Tuesday, February 27th, 2024 edition of the program. 65 degrees, getting up to 77 today, but man, is it dark and gloomy and windy. Although they say only about a 15% chance of rain, but a stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. But the wind's blowing 20 to 30 with gusts of 40. We may see some thunderstorms tonight, cloudy with a low of 49. That chance of rain at 60%. And then tomorrow for your Wednesday, 56 for a high, 34 for a low. Overnight hours, a cloudy day on tap for tomorrow. Tomorrow, speaking of tomorrow, Andy Borman joins us, Tigers assistant men's basketball coach, Jerry Palm from CBS Sports, to Michael Cole on the Grizzlies. But right now, it's time to talk Rhodes.
It's time to go inside Rhodes College Athletics on Sports 56 Mornings. Every week, a representative from Rhodes will join Greg and Eli to talk about all things Lynx. Let's go inside Rhodes Athletics now on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
All good things must come to an end. It has come to an end on the Rhodes men's basketball and women's basketball seasons. It has also come to an end. This is our final segment for this year. We've obviously enjoyed since beginning of September talking Rhodes athletics, football, basketball. Zoe Goodson joins us, the Rhodes men's basketball head coach. It has been a lot of fun for us. I hope it has been for you, and hopefully we get to start doing this again, cranking it up for football early September and later this year.
Absolutely. It's been a joy to be able to come on here every week and talk with you guys and share with the local community about Rhodes basketball and Rhodes athletics. It's been a lot of fun being out in the community and really running into people over and over and over and talking about how much they enjoy listening to us. So I really appreciate that and really appreciate you all.
Make sure to follow Zoe on Twitter at Zoe Goodson. As you could probably hear, the voice still a little hoarse from the SAA tournament and the Rhodes Lynx getting to the championship game before falling to Barry 74-57. That was after their win over Oglethorpe in the semis on Saturday, 68-61. So the season comes to an end, but Zoe, you certainly came close. You made a great run at the end of the season. As you said here on the show, you finally got healthy. It showed. You played some great basketball and ran into a very good team in Barry.
We did. And, we had our chances. We had plenty of opportunities in that game on Sunday. But, first and foremost, let's talk about Saturday. The guys had an incredible, incredible day Saturday. We came out. We played a little bit uncharacteristic in the first half, and we had a great talk at halftime. It was simply a talk of let's go back to who we are and let's be smart. And we came out and erased an 11-point deficit in 2.5 minutes in the start of the first half or second half against Oglethorpe, and really played great basketball in that second half. And then ran into a great Barry team, but it wasn't from lack of execution. It was really just came down to missed wide open shots. And so we just couldn't make a shot in that game. We shot poorly, but at the end of the day, we really played great basketball down the stretch.
In that Saturday game, you talk about that, your first half, 1 of 10 from 3, 33% overall from the field. Then you shoot 50% from the field, 5 of 9 from 3 in the second half. Was that just the result of, was that better execution, or was that part of it just shots going in?
It was better execution. We were taking some wild shots. We got there Thursday night, had a really good practice Friday. I think the guys were just so excited in that first half. They were feeling it, and they were trying to make too much happen too quickly. Everybody was. So got in there, had a good talk, settled everybody down, and just shot the ball. Took better shots in the second half.
So that's what it is. It's more of a halftime speech of let's settle down. We know what we're doing, as opposed to, hey, your season's about to end.
Yeah, you
don't on it.
Yeah,
get on it now.
You don't want to put that pressure on them.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah, you don't want to put that pressure on
That's why I'm not
them.
a coach.
But Arness did a really good job in there at that halftime. It was like, Coach is right. We just need to settle down. We know we're a better team than that. Let's go out there and show them what we're about. And we did. I think we started the half either 6 for 6 or 5 for 5, and just got out there. We executed in the break and the transition. Our primary break has been really good to us all year, and we knew that if we just got out and pushed it, so we would be all right.
And then the Sunday game, it was poor shooting first. That unfortunately that just continued in the second half.
Man.
It was just no shots would go. I mean, I was looking at your 3-point shooting. Xavier Williams goes 4 for 6. The rest of the team 2 for 17.
Yeah, it was an abysmal shooting day for us, to say the least. We just and they were good looks. It wasn't like they were, we were taking bad shots. And that's why at halftime of that game, I was like, guys, stick with it. We're getting wide open looks. They're going to fall. And I was wrong. They just didn't.
Is that being tight?
I don't know if it was just a bad shooting day, because they didn't look tight. They didn't feel like they were trying to press to make too much happen at once. It didn't seem that way. I just feel like it was a bad day, shooting day for us, because I think we only had 10 turnovers in that game. So it's not like we were trying to make too much happen and being too quick or playing uncharacteristic. I think we just didn't make shots.
Phil Dotson, Arness Georgetown II, both all tournament players.
That's right. So really excited about that. I think Xavier was in the mix there. He had a great tournament. I think Phil obviously had a great tournament, and Arness, being the unbelievable leader that he is, he showed all the coaches and the league that he deserved to be recognized. I think Arness got snubbed the week before in the season awards, and so I made it known that I wasn't very happy about that, and so I think people realized and recognized that Arness deserved to be recognized.
Well, along that, so last week we were talking to you, and it was just before those season awards were announced. We talked about Phil possibly as the player of the year, which he did not win, but
he did not.
Talk about that, and then what awards did you get for the season?
Yeah, so Phil was first team all conference. I think he finished second in the player of the year running, and then Trevor Lombard got honorable mention. And so, like I said, I feel like Arness Georgetown got snubbed a little bit there on that. He should have at least been second team or honorable mention. I think Trevor should have been second team for sure. Wasn't the happiest about that, but really excited for Phil and Trev, and excited that they got recognition that they deserve.
With Phil not getting player of the year, it was simply what we talked about last week, that they decided to give it to the guy on the first place team.
That's the way I feel. I mean, I don't know. I haven't talked to coaches about their exact voting, but it sure seemed like, the numbers didn't make sense to me for Phil not to get it. He absolutely deserved it. And so I think that, we got punished a little bit for being injured and finishing seventh, but it also gave us plenty of motivation to going into the weekend to show everybody we deserve to be in that championship game. And we weren't for sure. I mean, you are, the numbers don't lie. We finished as a 7th seed, but everyone knew we weren't a true 7th seed. We were just injured throughout the year.
Where did Phil end up with scoring and assists? Was he first and then second?
Yes, he was in both. And so that's why, like I said, the numbers didn't make sense to me.
He was first in both?
First in scoring, second in assists.
That's what I thought. Okay, that's incredible.
Yeah, it was. He had an incredible year. For a guy that can score like he does, to be so unselfish, and as selfish as he is, it just is a testament to his character. He's a team guy, and he really just wants to win. He's not a guy that he's not going out taking 20 shots a game because he only cares about his own numbers. He's taking those shots because A, he gets them, he gets open looks, and B, he's trying to carry the team to wins.
Well, you've been with us the entire season through thick and thin. Started out great. You hit the skids there in the middle, and you had some injuries, and all of a sudden you got it back late in the season and made a great run. So if I was the teacher and you were the student, no, you were the teacher rather, what would you give yourself as far as a grade
for this season?
That's not fair because I'm my own worst critic. I don't know if I would want to put a grade on myself because I haven't taken time to think about everything throughout
You're talking
the
about
year.
the team grade?
The team grade is an absolute. It's a B+ just because of the fact that we did have that middle section. You can't give yourself an A whenever you have that many losses. 9 out of 10. But throughout the year, the guys never quit. Their effort was at a A+ level the entire year in practice, in games. So effort-wise is an A+ overall grade given the circumstances, and ended up with a 12-16 record has to be a B or a B+. But at the end of the day, we have something unbelievable, an unbelievable foundation to build on for next year. Only losing Arness and Hayden Lamey. Hayden only played in a game and a half the entire season. So really losing one upperclassman going out this year is going to be a lot to really build on. And the last thing I want to say is, I know we got plenty of time here, but next year we're going to do this radio show on Thursdays. So my voice is back, coming back off of Sunday games, so people can really hear that I don't really sound like this all the time. It's just Mondays and Tuesdays are rough.
So what is the off season like at the Division III level? Like, how much time are you allowed to spend? What are they allowed to do? That type stuff? Is it the same as Division I as far as that type stuff goes? How does the off season go for you guys?
So the off season is very different, Division I and Division II. We don't get any days. We have one. We actually only have 1 day left to work out the entire spring because I use all of our off season days in the fall and work out. So we get 8 days or what we call non-traditional season that we can work with the guys. So I use 7 of my 8 in the fall leading up to regular season. So I got 1 day left. So the summer, all the guys go home and they're working out on their own. We give them workouts. We give them on the court stuff, weight room stuff, conditioning stuff to do, hoping that they follow it. But that's the dedication level of Division III players. There's no one there making you do it. You got to do it on your own. And then, of course, we know if you did or you didn't when you come back in August because we're going to see if your body's ready and see if you're in shape by the time we get going.
We've talked to you before about recruiting. With Division III, it's more flexible than it is in D1. So where are you with the recruitment for this upcoming class? And if you still have spots to fill, how are you game planning that?
Yeah, so right now we've got our 2024 recruiting class set. We're done for 24. The portal game doesn't really trickle down that much to us. Obviously, we'll take a look at it when it really ramps up and see if there's anybody. And we had some folks reach out to us late last year that were in the portal, but our class was filled out, and I was really happy and excited about where we were going. We'll listen and look, but for the most part, 2024 is done. We're turning the page to 2025, and we're going to start. As soon as they start those, we'll be out to all the different state tournaments in the area, Tennessee, Kentucky, Mississippi, Arkansas, Georgia. We'll be at all these state tournaments around over the next few weeks. And then we'll turn the page into spring basketball, and we'll be hitting the road heavily for 2025s.
So you're looking at the juniors.
That's right, yep. So we start getting our junior offers out probably, May, June.
Do you have a limitation on how many players that you can carry since it's non-scholarship?
We don't. We can carry as big of a roster as we'd like. And so that's where really a luxury, because if you do have, you fill the spots where you think you are, and then if you do have a late portal guy that comes in and maybe wants to transfer down to get minutes and is really good enough, you can continue to add.
Well, again, with only 2 guys leaving, you otherwise wouldn't have really any roster spots.
That's right. And so we're not going to bring in a giant class like you said with only 2 guys leaving. There won't be near as big of a freshman class as we had this past year.
You put together a very hard schedule. I remember talking about the tournaments you played in. You were invited to the one tournament in Vegas.
That's right.
Where it's pretty prestigious. Is the schedule set for next season?
It is, and it's harder.
Oh, gosh.
It's harder, but that's what we need to do. In order for us to grow this conference, in order for us to get recognition, to hopefully be an at-large bid, we need to continue to schedule harder, and we need to win those games, some of those games, not all of them. You need to win some of those games. So we've got to go out and continue to play those really good teams that are going to be in the NCAA tournament year in and year out.
When you look at the teams like Barry, who wins it, like some of the other top teams. Are they losing a lot of their guys?
We think so. We don't know because of this senior class is the last class of the COVID.
So as we talked with Jeff Crane earlier, we don't even know what a senior is anymore.
Right. I mean, I heard that there were I heard this last night on ESPN. There's 2 8-year players in college basketball still, which tells me they're 26 years old.
It's a weird world.
It's really weird. You think about a 26-year-old playing against an 18-year-old.
Well, DeAndre Williams last year from Memphis was how old?
He was 25 or 26.
Yeah. It's an odd world we're living in with that. But so with that said, some of their guys can come back. They had Barry has a couple fifth-year seniors on that team. We had none. We had 1 senior playing. They had 5. We had 1 junior playing. They had 4. So there was a lot going on with that. But with that said, we get some of our juniors back for next year off of injury and off of other issues. And then so we'll have 3 seniors, and then we'll have a huge junior class next year. And so we're really looking forward to what we have coming back and what we know will be back. And so since I got a couple minutes here, put a little pressure on Arness. He still has his 5th year available. And, of course, we would love to have him back.
There you go.
So whatever we can do to try to persuade him to come back for a 5th year would be incredible as well.
What's legal? What's in the guidelines of?
I don't know how much I can say. I don't. There's a 3 initial thing out there that we can let him go pursue as well.
Do you think Barry? And I don't know how much you know of the other schools that are in the tournament. I saw the field. I was looking at the field the other day. Can Barry make a run?
Absolutely. They're talented. They're going to make a run, in my opinion. I think they're a for sure Sweet 16 team. I hope so. So it represents the league the right way. But I'm telling you, they're a very talented team. They've got an unbelievable coaching staff there, and they've got the support. Barry is committed to winning at all levels, and so I think they're going to go and make a really good run and represent the SAW the right way.
Is there a couple of teams right now in D3 that are the dominating teams?
There's a handful of them.
Who would be up at the top?
I'm trying to think of Christian Newport has really been an unbelievable team.
Christopher Newport,
and then trying to think. Wash U that we played this year.
Wash U's always been.
They're going to be really, really good this year, and I think they're going to make a really, really deep run. Trinity out of Texas, I think they've only got 1 or 2 losses, and they're coming to our league.
Oh, when's that?
In 2 years.
Oh, really?
And so Trinity is unbelievable. Like I said, 1 or 2, maybe 3 losses on the season. I think they're a for sure Final Four caliber team. Wash U's a Final Four caliber team, and so you'll see a good representation of the SAA, especially moving forward if you really follow Barry and Trinity. I think both those teams are Sweet 16 and further teams, and with Trinity being a legit title contender.
Which is good. You want the conference to You want the profile of the conference to grow because of at-large bids and things like that in the future.
For sure, absolutely, and that's why we have to do our job as coaches as well and continue to schedule in the non-con the right way, so we can continue to build our resumes.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the women whose season came to an end in the semifinals, but a very solid year for them.
Yeah, they did a great job. They had an unbelievable job. Judy, in her first season, she just did a really incredible job with keeping those young ladies, intact after their coach left. She was an assistant coach. She recruited a lot of those young ladies, but keeping them intact with an August departure of their head coach, getting them to buy in quickly, had a great record. I think she had 16, 17 wins on the year. She did a great job. And, the one thing that I'll say about Judy is she is very secure in her coaching self, that she was really willing to ask a lot of questions. And not a lot of head coaches are like that. And I really appreciated Judy for trusting in me and coming to me and asking questions. But not only she used all of her resources. We have Tom Campbell on campus, who's our golf coach, who was the head women's basketball coach for many, many years. Matt Dean was a winningest women's coach at Rhodes, and she really utilized her resources a lot this year, and that says a lot about who she is as a person, and she's going to be an incredible coach for many, many years to come.
And before we go, I want to remind anybody out there that's a big fan of Rhodes, maybe they're an alum, maybe they played sports at Rhodes, they're listening to the segment, they've enjoyed the segment. Support Rhodes. Contact Zoe or any of the folks, any of the coaches over at Rhodes. Tell them how you can support them, if it's financially or just however you can, because everything helps.
Well, the biggest thing is we want everyone involved. You know, our practices, I tell people all the time, our practices are always open. We never have closed practices because I want people to be a part of the journey with us. You know, and so we have alumni link on our website. We would love to have the information so we can invite you to our practices and invite you to our events and be a part of our end of the season banquet that's coming up here in April and different things like that. But at the end of the day, you know, we had this radio show for sure grew our support in the community. You know, obviously, my biggest fan is my mother, Kathy. She's hating that today is the last show.
Hi, Kathy.
She's hating it. She's killing her that our last show is today. But we have built some local support because of this radio show, and we want more support. It's not about the money. It's about just being there with us at the games, and being there with us at our practices and seeing how much work these young men put in every single day. You will grow an admiration for what they really put in to be a Division III college athlete.
Well said, Zoe. And I want to thank Kim House, certainly the Associate AD for Compliance, the Senior Woman Administrator over at Rhodes. Kim, thank you so much, because without her, we don't have this segment.
No doubt. Kim has been unbelievable. Jim Duncan, our athletic director, allowing us to do this and supporting this. You know, he put in hundreds, thousands of miles this year traveling all over the country. But Kim, you know, she supports every single sport the same, Jim the same way. Both of them are just them having our backs is unbelievable. And not everybody has that from their AD and their deputy athletic director, and we do. And we're very thankful for that.
Awesome.
Zoe, thank you so much. We really enjoyed it. We're looking forward to hopefully doing it again next year.
Can't wait. Look forward to being here every Wednesday or Thursday.
Got a long time
as I
to work
look through the glass over there. Every Wednesday or Thursday.
You got a long time to work on that voice now until next year.
That's right.
By the way, in this segment coming up starting the week of the Masters, Mickey Barker will join us to talk golf here in Memphis. We'll have a segment going on through the summer, and then at the end of August, you know, hopefully we crank it back up with Rhodes football. Thanks again, Zoe. Great stuff.
Appreciate you. Thank you all.
That is Zoe Goodson. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Zoe Goodson. We'll take a timeout. You're listening to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
If you've tried to buy a Rolex watch lately, you know how difficult it is. New models are in rare supply. Some jewelers put you on wait lists. Others make you buy their other jewelry at inflated prices just to be considered for a Rolex purchase. Well, that's all changed now that Genesis Diamonds has arrived. Genesis Diamonds is the premier dealer of luxury pre-owned Rolex timepieces. People who come in are shocked to see Daytonas, Hulks, Submariners, Pepsis, Datejusts, all the hard-to-find Rolex watches ready to wear today. At Genesis, we've used our worldwide connections to find only the first luxury pre-owned Rolexes, immaculate, pristine watches, fairly priced with no strings attached, and with flexible financing options. So enough with the wait list and the retail jeweler games. Get the Rolex of your dreams today at Genesis Diamonds. And if you already have a Rolex and are interested in trading up, we also have Rolex buyers on site every day. Just another example of how we're forever changing the jewelry landscape here. Genesis Diamonds, official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
All 650 acquisition fee, Forte RE 722-812, MSRP 21590, Sorrento PG 2420710, MSRP 33010, Telluride RG 462-822, MSRP 38705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 2/29/24 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, you ready to get this party started at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
You bet I am, Randy. Gossett's got your new Kia that gets 41 MPG highway. 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month. $27.99 due at signing. Need extra room? How about a 2023 Kia Sorrento LX at $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing, and a 2024 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease.
Plus, get peace of mind because with every Gossett Kia, you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or online, KiaMountMoriah.com.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Morning.
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. One of the better group of 5 quarterbacks out there, James Madison quarterback Jordan McLeod, is transferring to Texas State. He was the Sun Belt Player of the Year. And now he goes to Texas State, where he will join forces with Coach G.J. Kinney. G.J. Kinney was a quarterback at Tulsa, right?
I believe that is correct.
If I'm not mistaken. So, big pickup for Texas State. From the world of Major League Baseball, the Cardinals have signed veteran shortstop Brandon Crawford, basically for insurance, behind young Mason Wynn, Tommy Edmonds, according to reports. His status for opening day is in question. So they went out and got themselves some insurance in veteran Brandon Crawford. College basketball tonight, busy night. Some of the games on tap tonight include the new number 1 team in the nation, Houston, hosting Cincinnati in what we like to call the American Conference battle. Kentucky and Mississippi State tonight. Mississippi State's a 3.5-point favorite. They've looked good in their last few games. They beat Ole Miss at the hump. They went to LSU, won by double digits. I thought that was really impressive. They're clicking on all cylinders right now for Mississippi State, and they're the favorite by 3.5 over a Kentucky team that just scored 1,000 against Alabama.
Yeah, Mississippi State's been really good on their home floor. It's a huge game for them, another chance for them to get a little bit closer, I guess, to trying to secure themselves a spot in the NCAA tournament. This is it's a huge game for them down there tonight. Imagine there will be a raucous crowd for that one.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't mean to say Boise State. Boise State is playing tonight. I meant to say BYU. BYU and Kansas at Fog Allen. Kansas 6.5-point favorite. Kansas, we know how good they are on their home court. BYU's been a good team this year, real solid team.
Yeah, BYU certainly has been really good. We talk about the ones that came for the American, but BYU in year one in a very tough Big 12, a big step up for them as far as conference goes. They've been very, very competitive, very much in the mix there in that Big 12, seemingly every game.
Texas at Texas Tech tonight, another Big 12 battle. Last night in the Big 12, Baylor and TCU at TCU, they had played an overtime, or was it a double overtime game earlier in the year? And Baylor lost that one, I believe. Last night they get the win over TCU, but it's
It's a great competition as far as the Big 12 every single night, and last night was a really good game. I like Baylor an awful lot. They came back on Houston, came up a little short over the weekend. Really good team. Don't like them as much as I like Houston, but Scott Drew has done a great job at Baylor.
He is. He's got that program rolling. He's a great coach. He's a great recruiter. And they have been, despite losing some important guys to the transfer portal, other things, they seem to restock with top talent every single year, whether through the portal or adding high school guys. But he's just got that program rolling right now.
Right now, who would you consider your top 3-4 head coaches in college basketball?
Well, certainly Bill Self would have to be on the list. I would put Izzo on the list. I think Scott Drew could very well probably has to be on that list right now.
Throw in Mark Few.
I like Mark Few. I'm not as big on Mark Few as some others. Certainly, he has accomplished a lot. I'm not taking anything away from what he has done. He has had a great career.
You know what he really is?
Just hasn't won the big one yet, but it's really remarkable at a place like Gonzaga what he has done. I probably don't give him enough credit.
He's a great evaluator of talent. He's been able to get international guys. He knows, he looks at a person, he figures out what he needs for his team, he finds those players, he develops those players. So he's a great recruiter. I think he's a good X's and O's guy.
I mean, Hurley certainly is, with what he's done.
He's a motivator. Danny's a motivator.
Kelvin Sampson.
Kelvin Sampson is.
I think Kelvin Sampson gets the most out of gets the most out of his team of anybody in college basketball.
What do you think of Matt Painter?
I think Matt Painter is an okay coach.
Yeah. I think he's an overrated coach.
I think Nate Oates is a great coach.
What do you think of the guy that's now at Oklahoma?
Porter Moser.
Obviously,
he's done what he did at Loyola is insane, and he's done a good job at Oklahoma. He will certainly be a guy that will be looked at this offseason. I don't know how much he wants to stay at Oklahoma, or there will be, depending on what other jobs all come available, he could be a guy that could be on the move. Although I think he's got a really big buyout, if I'm not mistaken, there, so he may prevent him from being able to go somewhere else.
I'm looking at I'm trying to pull this up here. I'm looking at the latest from Jerry as far as his bracketology is concerned, and I don't get it with Michigan State. They're 17-11. They're 9-8 in the conference. They're 3-5 away from home, and I know it's tough to win on the road. I don't think he's got him as a 9 seed. I think Michigan State at best should be a bubble team right now.
Well, that's what a 9 seed is.
Yeah, but I mean like a real bubble, like further down. Or further up, every way you're going. And Michigan State, 9's pretty solid that you're in the field. I think Michigan State right now, I don't know if I wouldn't have them on the outside looking in. Maybe it's because everything else around them. And that's why it still drives me crazy to see stories and read stories about expanding. Even Mike Krzyzewski, the retired Duke coach, has come out and said he'd like to see the field expanded. Who wants to see 96 teams? Why water it down when it's hard to find 68 really good teams?
And Michigan State's one of those teams. They don't have the bad losses. They don't, in quad 1, they're only 3-7. But they don't have the bad losses. They don't have any quad 3 losses. They don't have any quad 4 losses. So it's, they don't have a ton of the great wins. They have some good wins, but they've avoided bad losses. It's, the whole thing with Texas A&M is very bizarre because they've got all the good wins, but they've got bad losses, and you're trying to compare which would you rather have? Which way do you go? Do you take the team that has a bunch of? Because I think they were talking about the game on the Tennessee A&M game the other day. I can't remember what the number was that no team's ever been left out with a certain number of quad 1 wins, and right now. I believe A&M would qualify with that because I think they got 6. Well, and of course that could have changed based on teams moving around in the rankings. But they had at that point they had a number of quad 1 wins that nobody's ever been left out of the field with that number of quad 1 wins, but then they're also with their quad 3 and quad 4 losses. Like they had a number there where nobody's like made the field with that many of those losses. So Texas A&M's one of the weirdest all-time resumes that there is. They are still at 6 quad 1 wins. They're 6-6 in quad 1. They no longer have any quad 4 losses. Their losses have all gone into quad 3 now. They're 2-4 in quad 3. So they're just a strange team.
Well, getting back to Michigan State, though, it's a little misleading that they don't have any bad losses because they play in a power conference and all the teams in the conference get the benefit of the doubt. But when you've lost to some of the teams at the bottom of the conference, you should be penalized more. Ohio State is not a great basketball team. Now, they're not a horrible team, and they pulled off a couple of upsets here once they got rid of Chris Holtmann. But this is a team that fired their coach. They're 6-11 in conference. Michigan State lost to them. That should be looked at more as a bad loss, but it's not because it's a power conference, and that's the same with the SEC. Even the teams at the bottom. I mean, when you lose games to bad teams, you should be penalized more, no matter if they come from non-conference or come from the power conferences, because the power conference teams are always going to get the metrics on their side. Sometimes you got to just use your eyes, man. Watch the games and see how these teams are performing. I just think Michigan State is an average team, and we'll see how many more games they lose before the Selection Sunday happens. And we'll see how they do in the conference tournament. They make a run, certainly they belong in the field. Right now, Jerry, as you said yesterday, last 4 in includes Ole Miss, includes Gonzaga. We talked about Mark Few. Gonzaga is not usually in this position where they're right there on the bubble, smack on the bubble. Wake Forest is another one that is in, like Gonzaga, like Ole Miss and Utah, but barely in. Wake, of course, has the great win over Duke. And then the first 4 out include schools like Texas, Seton Hall, Providence, and Oregon. These are all power conferences. The Big East in basketball, well, they don't play football, but this is a power conference. I'll be interested to see somebody like McNeese. If they don't win their conference tournament title, they deserve an at-large. But I don't know what their total resume is. I just know that team is really, really good. They're really good. I've seen them a couple of times. Will Wade, I don't know how long he'll be at McNeese, even though they re-upped him this year. They gave him the extension. But I wonder if and that's a question for Jerry tomorrow, if McNeese, if they don't win their conference tournament title, what are they, in the Southland Conference?
Yeah.
That's normally one bid.
Yeah, I mean, they've beaten nobody of consequence.
Who have they played non-conference?
They got losses to Western Carolina and Louisiana Tech.
In the conference? Are they in the conference?
No, their best win on the entire season is Virginia Commonwealth. They have no wins. Like, no, they're not a tournament team.
Yeah, but if you watch them play, you're right. I mean, but everything's got to be gauged on who they play. You're right about that. But, man, watching that team play, it looks like a team that knows what the hell they're doing. That is a good coach. I know he's got baggage. I understand all that. But as far as X's and O's and mapping out a game plan, that guy knows how to coach. So that's a team right now. It's funny. If they don't win the conference tournament title, probably out, you would say, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yet, I would bet that they would be one of the teams that people would pick to upset whoever they play in the first round of the tournament, NCAA tournament. Wouldn't you say? They would be a chic pick because people know that they're a good team. Because they watch.
I wouldn't, because he didn't even, when he had a ton of talent at LSU, he struggled at the tournament. So,
yeah, maybe he's better with less talent.
He's better playing nobody.
I don't know. I think he's done a really good job. I like him. I think he's a good coach. But again, I understand the issues that comes with that. Although I think we have kind of moved past that to a certain extent, except for those coaches that have the show cause. And they're out of, whether it be football or basketball, out of commission for years and years. I'm talking about guys that have gotten into trouble with the NCAA or legally have gotten into trouble, like Chris Beard at Ole Miss. These guys in the past, maybe 10 years ago, they wouldn't be given that opportunity to coach again. But I think in this day and age, with athletic directors and the pressure they are under to win and win big, that they are willing to move on, hopefully
it's an isolated incident and that they're back on the straight and narrow because they know in this case, Beard's a hell of a basketball coach. He's a hell of an X's and O's guy. I mean, this is a guy who can recruit. So you want, if you're trying to turn around a program, or in some cases put programs on maps, then you take chances. You're willing to take chances. And more people are understanding of them taking chances in this day and age.
Guys, when you're thinking about popping the question, getting engaged, you want to make sure when you go buy that ring that it's just right. It's going to make her extremely happy. It's going to make her very proud to wear it for the rest of her life. And when you go there, you want to make sure you're getting the proper designer, the proper diamond, all of these different things. Stuff that you probably have no idea about whatsoever. You probably just don't know a darn thing about it. You could do some research, all that, or you could just go to the place that has the best and has great people there to educate you, help you pick out that perfect ring, not there to pressure you to buying the most expensive ring in the store or anything like that, because they're not working on commission. I'm talking about Genesis Diamonds. They've got the top designers when it comes to these rings. When you're talking about the top of the list, they've got all of those. In many cases, they're the only jewelry store in town that has those designers. An amazing selection of diamonds, all different sizes, all different budgets, whatever it is that you're looking for, they're going to have something for you. And again, a great staff, not working on commission, that's there to educate you, help you pick out that perfect ring that's going to make her proud. Don't settle for less than what you really deserve and what she really deserves. Heck, they've got top quality designer rings for under $2,000. Now they've got stuff in all price ranges. Again, whatever your budget is, they're going to have something for you. But it's not about the price. It's about the craftsmanship, the quality, the detail, the individuality. That's the things you're looking for that engagement ring. Go see them. Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended for that engagement ring. No better place to go than Genesis Diamonds.
By the way, Michigan State, they don't play again until Saturday. They'll play number 2 Purdue at Purdue. If they win at Mackey, I mean, that solidifies their spot, in my opinion. They'll probably lose. Now, to me, again, that loss is expected. Then you got Northwestern at home and Indiana on the road. You need to win those two. If they lose one of those, then I think they're in big-time trouble going into the Big Ten championship. But right now, they are solidly in the field. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
They say you can't pick the best barbecue in Memphis.
Who is they?
The people that say things.
Like what?
Well, that you can't pick the best barbecue in Memphis.
Well, that's ridiculous. It's Central Barbecue.
Well, I'm telling you, these people said that you can't even say Central Barbecue is the best barbecue in Memphis.
But it is. There's no better slow-smoked, perfectly cooked barbecue in Memphis or anywhere else.
Look, I'm just saying that they say...
What else do they say?
Well, that the earth is flat.
You have got to get off of social media.
That's what they say as well.
Here's some hard truth about engagement rings. There are 10 premier designers every woman knows about. They're like the Mercedes or Louis Vuitton of engagement rings. World-class, iconic, quality names. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and these designers are hard to get, and every jewelry store wants them, but very few make the cut, so they have to settle for lesser brands or knockoffs. Around here, there's only one jewelry store that offers these premium rings. It's Genesis Diamonds. Genesis is the only one that made the cut, that meets the highest standards. Genesis is the only store that's allowed to offer these exceptional brands that women really want. Other stores are jealous of this and will try and convince you these are more expensive and try to get you to settle for something else. But the truth is, Genesis has top quality designer rings for under $2,000. It's not about price, it's about craftsmanship and quality and detail and individuality. So don't compromise. Get her a world-class ring she will be proud to wear. Genesis Diamonds on Poplar at Perkins Extended.
It's easy to see. We're being conned by the institutions we used to trust. The mainstream media is distracting us with meaningless headlines instead of focusing on the harsh realities facing American families. We all know something big is coming, and that's why so many folks are preparing. They're becoming more self-reliant by investing in emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply is the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, and they make it easy for you to prepare. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and secure some emergency food kits. There's a dozen to choose from that contain tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. My Patriot Supply also sells large solar generators, gravity-powered water filtration systems, heirloom seeds for your garden, and survival gear. Order by 3 p.m. and your items will ship that same day. Time is short. Prepare today. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings. Good morning! On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So McNeese, they've played 24 games. 16 of them have been quad 4.
How many in the conference?
McNeese is 55 in the net. The next best team in the Southland Conference is number 175.
So 16 of those, how many of them are conference opponents?
I don't know.
Which, again, there's nothing you could do about it. But how about that? McNeese.
They have 0 quad 1 games, 5 in quad 2, 3 quad 3s, and then 16 quad 4s.
Yeah, they're 55 in the net. And Memphis is what in the net? 77? Something like that? Even after beating Florida Atlantic? It makes no sense to me.
Memphis is 79.
McNeese is 55. Memphis is 79. They haven't even attempted to play a quad 1 team. I still think they're a really good team. I think Memphis would beat them. I don't think that, as long as it's the Memphis we've seen here in the last couple of games, it just doesn't make sense to me. All the metrics that are used. Margin of victory, right? They're blowing out teams probably in the Southland. Interesting.
You're the one that wants to put them in the tournament.
I think they're good. But after what you told me, I think I've changed my mind.
I'm here telling you that they're not you're like, I've watched them play. They're great. They should be in the tournament. Well, you have to have something to judge them. Others I think they look good beating up on bad teams.
No, you're right. You have to have the resume. But I also listened to all the so-called experts talk about McNeese State, talk about Will Wade, talk about this team, and I kind of buy into what they're saying. So I watched them a game, and they looked great when I watched them play. But again, it was not against high top caliber competition. How about this story? Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart has made NIL history, becoming the first athlete to sign with a private jet company. Through the deal with Nichols Air, or is it Nicholas Air? Nicholas Air. He can use the company's fleet of jets for travel, training, and philanthropy. Connor O'Gara, who was just on with us earlier in the show, says, and we have the best deal of the NIL era. Congratulations to Jackson Dart. Can he bring buddies on there with him? Girlfriends, all that stuff? Just travel with me?
It's a pretty good deal.
Hey, man.
To have a deal with private jet company is pretty darn good. Nicholas Air is a massive Ole Miss supporter. But yeah, that'd be. I can't imagine when I was in college having a deal with a private jet company that I could just call them up. Hey, you know what? I feel like going here.
Yeah, you know what? I want to swing down to Cancun for the weekend. All right, jump on board. Want to go to Vegas for 2 days? Come on, there you go. That's unreal, man. Unreal.
You need a tough, reliable tractor to tackle those tough chores? Well, Be ready for anything you need to get done with. You got a Case IH Farmall Series tractor from Mid-South Ag Equipment. They've got that complete line of tractors, plus, of course, bush hog equipment, much, much more, from new equipment to pre-owned equipment, service on your current equipment, everything. You'll find it at Mid-South Ag Equipment. Online at midsouthag.com. You can check out the inventory of the equipment they've got. You can check out special deals that they've got on that equipment as well. If you want to see them in person, which is the best way to do it, you can find them just south of Collierville on Goodman Road, off of I-269. Take the Goodman Road exit, and they are just a half mile west. They are the experts when it comes to all your equipment needs. Mid-South Ag Equipment. Again, online at midsouthag.com.
Memphis baseball back in action today and tomorrow. A couple of midweek games against UT Martin over at FedEx Park, Avron Fogelman Field. And if this wind's blowing out, which I believe it will be, there could be a lot of runs. In fact, I predict a lot of runs to be scored in this series. This weekend, Memphis will remain at home as they will host Wright State for 3. So get on out there and see a new era of Memphis baseball with Matt Reiser at the helm.
Big loss last night for the U.S. women's national team. They lost to Mexico 2-0. They were 41-1 against Mexico going into that game. 40 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. Although I think they hadn't allowed a goal to Mexico since 2010.
They have been such a dominant team around the world. And according to people, this roster is just not that strong. And it's probably time for them to go through a little bit of a slump. But I would bet that the women's team will be back before too long. There's too many quality players in this country for the women.
And this loss, now this allowed Mexico to win their group in the CONCACAF Gold Cup, but the U.S. team is still advancing on out of group play. And this is, I believe, an interim coach right now with our women's team. I think our permanent coach is not there yet.
I don't know that.
I believe it's an interim coach that is coaching us now until the permanent one. I think the permanent one's coaching, I guess, in their league wherever, and then once they're done, then they're taking over the U.S. team.
Yeah, when I saw the score last night, I thought it was men, and I was like, no big deal. The men lost to Mexico. I'm not shocked. And then when I found out this morning, actually driving in during an update on Fox Sports, that it was the women,
I didn't realize
I was shocked
that we dominated the Mexican women the way we did. So I guess Mexico's women's team is not very good.
It's just the United States. We're that good. The United States
40
is that good.
and 1 is
that's domination. So do you still call it a rivalry if it's one-sided? You would think the United States' biggest rival would be Mexico. And if it's a dominating one-sided rivalry, is it truly a rivalry? Question for all you people out there that care about rivalries. From the NFL, the Buccaneers, according to reports, will release outside linebacker Shaq Barrett. It's a move to provide nearly $5 million in salary cap relief. That is a good player who will be on the market. Barrett had a deal, $15.04 million. It was an option bonus due next month. So more than likely, the 9-year veteran is out, not official yet, but he knows and understands it's just business. And it's just business for us as we're out of here. A few commercials, and then Dave Woloshin will take over with Waldo and Friends on Sports 56. Tomorrow we got a big show. Andy Borman, Memphis Tigers assistant basketball coach, will join us at 8:05. We'll talk bracketology with Jerry Palm from CBS Sports at 8:25. And the Grizzlies with DeMichael Cole at 9:05. The Grizzlies, after losing last night at home to Brooklyn, will head to Minnesota to play the Timberwolves tomorrow night. Our thanks to Connor O'Gara, to Jeff Crane, and to Zoe Goodson for joining us on the program today. Again, Dave Woloshin is next with Waldo and Friends on Sports 56. For Eli Savoy and for Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great Tuesday, everyone.